And we lose another source of beauty, the great Leonard Cohen. This is the Bennington Show. On a Friday, I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Leonard Cohen, great singer, songwriter, poet, spiritual man. Just one of the great nights of my life I had at just watching Leonard Cohen at the Beacon. He was absolutely amazing.
His voice will be missed in every sense of the word. Like his poetry, it's just like the haunting beauty of him. His just like, I don't think anybody tapped into just like that unique sexuality like he had.
Yeah, he was quite the ladies' man too. Yeah. Great life all the way around. Leonard Cohen, irreplaceable. It's another one of those minds that is absolutely irreplaceable, and a great Quebecer. When you go to Montreal, you always think of Leonard Cohen. Stunning how many people we've lost this year.
Yeah, it's been a really, really rough one. It's maybe one of the worst in a long time. Like the amount of, just if you look at music alone.
Yeah.
Just the legends we lost.
We're being gutted of our best and our brightest. It's a stunning setback for art. So this is the Bennington Show on a Friday. I walked past the Trump Tower today, and it was the most post 9/11 thing. There's so much security, and because it's Veterans Day, there's extra security, but the entire building looked like it was shut down. I don't know how people, I mean, they're going to have to figure something out, because I don't know how people can live there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, him in New York, I mean, it's brutal enough when a president visits New York for like a couple days, but the idea of him in this city for until he's inaugurated,
it's going to be very, very tough security wise. And we're entering Christmas season, which is kind of unbearable for travel. So we'll just have to make do, but it's a very strange feeling. Again, Chris Stanley, who's becoming very, very famous as the Trump cuck.
Yes.
You appeared on Fox News?
Yes, Fox News, and I heard Sky News as well. They use that, so I'm international.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to you, Chris. I didn't know you were international.
Deplorable. International, deplorable.
We got an international guy. And then you almost got caught up in a big protest last night.
Last night, I'm taking a car going towards the east side, hit the red light before we hit going across Fifth Avenue. I hear chanting starting, and it's getting louder and louder and louder. I'm like, holy shit, there's a protest coming down Fifth Avenue. So I'm yelling at the cab driver, dude, we gotta get over past Fifth Avenue, or else we're gonna be stuck here forever. I tell the guy, just go. He starts driving through the intersection, and I look to my right, and there's thousands of people just coming, chanting, and as we go past Fifth, I look behind me, and there's just an endless stream of people going towards Trump Tower, just chanting, just angry.
You are living in the year of living dangerously. That's your new
crazy, man.
That's your new MO. But when you're the Trump cuck, the way that you are, and you're becoming internationally famous, an internationally famous man that we're dealing with here.
Thank you.
A speaker for the youth of the Trump nation. It's exciting for you, I guess. Change is always exciting.
Yeah, I never saw this coming, but thanks to all this footage of me going around, I feel great.
I taught Chris something else today when he was screaming. He never saw no birds that look like that, and I had the opportunity to teach him about the birds going south for the winter, and he goes, "Why? It's fucking cold around here." I go, "They're not all the way south yet, Chris." He did not know.
Look,
birds go south for the winter.
We've been sitting in that smoke spot for like fucking years now. I've never seen these birds that fucking flew over.
What kind of bird was it?
Like black with like gold specks. I was trying to take pictures. I don't think
they were.
Them.
Yeah, they were. I don't know what the hell they were, but there was a bunch of them. But you had no idea.
Not
birds.
Not in November. I thought maybe they it's like a September thing when they start going south. I think it's this climate change that's affecting the bird migration patterns.
Chris just wants to know where the ducks go.
Those poor bastards.
Where do the ducks go?
Yeah, I was trying to take pictures of this bird, but it came out blurry.
Let me see this blurry bird.
By the way, Love It or Shove It says, I'm going to go on the record saying 2015 sucks so hard. So their Love It or Shove It is already still mourning Lou Reed from last year. Never even made it to the 2016. When do you get to 2016, Love It?
You're not going to like it.
You're going to really fucking hate it.
Yeah, I think this is some sort of a sparrow, perhaps. I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is.
Never saw it before.
It's a bird.
Here's the thing. It was a very exciting day for the Trump cuck, and he was enjoying himself very much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you like to be cucked, this is your time. I mean,
this is your time.
I mean, you are in for a treat.
And cuck me, please.
And that's Chris.
I like treats.
I don't judge. People are into it.
Oh, yeah. People are into it. It works for all three members. It's great.
Everyone's enjoying it.
Everybody enjoys their role.
It's a positive thing.
Yeah.
I'm a Trump cuck. That's all it is, man.
He's cucking you.
Look, cuck me. Please cuck me more.
Cuck me gently, cuck me slowly.
It feels good.
Trump was tweeting again last night, which was great because
he's back at it.
He went in two different directions. He came back a few hours later and said the protests are great. They show great passion.
Yeah, there was like some wordage though. They're like, there's a couple people protesting, just a couple, like a couple small gatherings, something like that.
Love the fact that the small groups of protesters last night have passion for our great country. We'll all come together and be proud.
What was the one that he said before that, though? You got to do it and think. The one that he did.
Just had a very open and successful presidential election. Now professional protesters, incited by the media, are protesting. Very unfair.
And that went into, this is great. There's a couple of them, and they have passion.
A couple hours later, he changed his tune on it.
It was 4 hours later.
Will Trump be stopped from tweeting the way he loves to tweet?
No, absolutely not. That's his connection to his people. I mean, the real brilliance of what he did was he bypassed and made an enemy of the media when that used to be you had to play to. He doesn't want his people to get a filtered Trump, right?
Yeah.
That was the brilliance of what he did. He played directly to his followers. I think it's amazing that like it took a 70-year-old man to show everybody how to use social media. And also, this is my biggest fucking beef. I'm now reading polls of who voted which way, and I'm like, why would I agree that white school teachers fucking voted this way when you were just wrong about every fucking poll for the last 17 months?
Yeah.
I'm not reading polls to find out why the polls were fucked up. How fucking stupid are we? The polls are bullshit.
I went through this very same thing where it's like, okay, let me go through it. What white women voted this, and then I was like, okay, I forgot. Forgot this shenanigans that's been happening for months.
There's no reason to believe any poll about anything. All right, this it looks like it was a European starling, or look, Lori has put these up. I don't know. It's somewhere. Maybe this one, Chris. It's a European starling of some kind.
I believe it's this one.
This one.
I believe it's that European starling.
Let me look closer.
Because that one's head's too fluffy.
Yeah, you're right about that. It might have been this one.
Yeah, you're right. That kind of looks like your picture.
I'm a bird watcher now, guys.
I know you are. You're a bird cuck.
I'm a bird cuck. Hey, birds, cuck me.
I'm a bird watcher.
Yeah, that's it. That's the exact bird.
I'm a bird watcher.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Well, Lori's all over everything. She's fucking an educated gal, you know?
Yeah.
She understands the literary world. And this is a major loss for her, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Today, losing a poet like Leonard Cohen.
Absolutely. It's a loss for everybody.
You know, I always remember this one quote about Leonard Cohen. He says, whenever you write a poem, stick it in a drawer for a year. Don't, then go back to it and see whether it holds up. Make sure it isn't some, spur of the moment thing that you're caught up of. And I was like, man, I would have saved a lot of people a lot of bad poems.
You're like, oh, that needs to age like a fine wine.
I wish that everybody who wrote a 9/11 poem had put it in a drawer for a year and didn't try to just immediately putting it out on 9/12 and 9/13.
Right, 9/12. They're just like, let me get this down. This is exactly how I feel.
I don't know what I want to get in. There's two stories that have kind of interested me. Let's just go to the Toy Hall of Fame. What am I saying? Let's try to lighten it up a little bit. Just such sad news. The Toy Hall of Fame, and who knew that there was such a thing.
This is the first I'm hearing of a toy Hall of Fame. I didn't know that they were awarded in such a way.
They only put in a couple. And I believe, and I'm pretty excited about this, the swing went in this year. And I don't know what you were waiting for. I mean, I know.
How did that not
now
go
I know
on
how
first
Rush
draft?
fans felt. You know? Give me the next one.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Now, that's a game I've never played before, but I understand it gave a lot of comfort to nerd culture.
I have never played it,
It looks
but I've
long
seen
and stupid.
I have seen people playing it.
I've never played it. I wanted to play it, but I didn't have. No one else wanted to play it with me as a child.
Oh no, Frisbee!
That's fucking for real.
Can I tell you
You've been
something?
cooked.
I'm not going to help you, but I'm sure Vito will be your dungeon master or whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
need a dungeon master.
Yeah, everyone does. You can't play without a dungeon master. See, this is how
You
little.
just said, I don't need a dungeon master.
All right, D&D went in, and I understand that there was a lot of push for D&D as well.
It has a resurgence too. Recently, in recent years, people are loving Dungeons and Dragons.
But
Well, it was in that Stranger Things.
yes,
And it looked like a terrible game to me. Like, when I was watching them play it, I'm like, who? I only saw it on that and Freaks and Geeks. And neither time did it look fun.
yeah, and I had a lot of kids in my grade who were really into Magic the Gathering, which I think was it's not an offshoot, but it's similar, right? Like it's a similar type game.
It's like a card game, but with like fantasy shit involved.
It's the same. It's the same gimmick.
A similar
It's
gimmick.
like you get to act things out, but I don't know how you know whether your spell worked and all that shit. It looks too fucking
I don't
hard.
know. I think the dungeon master decides.
Yeah, but it just looks like if you got a creep for a dungeon master, you know what I mean? He could just say, "Yeah, you won the game," and then everybody else is pissed off.
You did it, bro.
All right, who else went in?
And then lastly, Fisher Price's Little People.
Now, Little
Love.
People was gigantic in what, the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they were huge when I was a very little kid, so maybe
okay,
80s.
Maybe always, right? But they're like,
Oh yeah.
you make. I don't like them because I don't think they look like people, and that annoys me.
I don't remember ever having these, but I don't like they don't have arms.
Do you know what
I
they were?
don't like it.
You know what they remind me of?
What?
Going to see the pediatrician.
Okay,
Like you'd always
yeah.
have that in the doctor's office. Like that.
And that's when you'll play with anything.
Oh yeah, you're just like anything to not think about.
I would
with
read a
this.
highlights magazine like it was fucking time. Like, this is interesting. This is an
Goofus is
interesting
at it
article.
again. Mm.
So, Gallon is the good one, but Goofus is more fun. Now, toy-wise, I was alarmed to see this. It did not make it in. It was nominated. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, I believe,
Whoa.
should have went in a first ballot. Although the swing should have went in with Chuck Berry. I mean, the swing.
The swing is. It's maybe the first. I mean, like that's how do you pick swing later? You're like, we'll get to swing.
Right, we'll get to swing someday. Now, I'm going to go to you, Chris Stanley, and if anybody wants to jump into this, it's 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. I'm against Little People making it in, but I understand that they were big. They sold a lot. But 844 Rock God, best toy ever. What do you got, Chris?
I always loved the Super Bowl as a kid.
Now,
It just had so much power in it.
that was an unbelievable, thrilling toy for 6 hours until you lost it.
Yeah.
I've hit a Super Bowl when I was a kid with a baseball bat. Just drop the fucking bat and watch it go deep into the woods. I've seen Super Bowls fly over the house, never to be seen again.
They're amazing.
They were an amazing toy, and I want to give you a little Super Bowl trivia. Okay. It's where the name Super Bowl came from.
What?
There was.
Are you serious?
The Super Bowl was the big thrilling toy of the '60s, and then they didn't. For like the first couple of years, they didn't even call it the Super Bowl. They called it like the championship game or the interleague championship game. And then some marketing genius with the league said, my kids play with a Super Bowl. Why don't we call it a Super Bowl? And ladies and gentlemen, we're going into our 51st year of it right now.
Wow.
So I will agree with you for the thrill of a Super Bowl. There's nothing like it. But the practicality just did not exist. And you keep a Super Bowl if you're a kid. At least if you live anywhere that you can honestly bounce the goddamn thing.
No one had a favorite Super Bowl.
And also, it's your only palm injuries that you're going to get from any toy because they will come at you so fast when your friend bounced it.
Yeah.
And when you go to catch it, it just hurt like
and
shit.
you get like that shooting pain that shoots up your palm and like
off your arm, like a stroke. It's like a kid's version of a stroke.
It can actually like numb your whole arm.
All right, I'm going to go to, and I see our phones exploded. I'm going to give Vito a chance. You need a chance to catch up, or they got it, Vito?
I'm going to jump in.
Okay, so Gail, you're going to go next.
Okay, so this was a difficult choice, but I have to go with something that is a little simple, but I loved it as a child, and if it was in this room right now, I would play with it for hours, and that is Silly Putty.
Silly Putty.
To me, Silly Putty is like the first experience with like stress relief,
Right.
like where you can kind of like turn your brain off a little and you're just like, this is comforting. I'm making stuff.
Because the way, the texture of it,
Yes.
there's a word for that. But also, was that the one that you could press into a newspaper and
Yes.
come out with the print?
Yeah.
Which is so gross.
It's-
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
love
you know-
doing that.
I know, but that ink stays in it. So you're just playing with an ink mud pie after
And
a while.
there were many offshoots of like Silly Putty that were kind of enjoyable. Like in the 90s, there was like Yak and Floam
Right,
and all that
right.
kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Like
And then
I
it
always
got
liked that
slimier.
stuff. Yeah, I always liked to play with something like that. But I think that you're going to have to go original gangsta with Silly Putty.
That's the one. I used to play with it
And it's such a
constantly.
standard, and I would almost put it like at swing status, where it's just like, it's simple. It's just,
Now, Silly Putty is already in the Hall of
It
Fame.
is.
So I'm seeing that coming into us. That's wonderful news. Wonderful news that Silly Putty made it.
Thank God.
I'm going to, like I said, Rock'em. I was never a toy kid. Like my parents used to just bug me to get toys. And I was like, I don't know what I want to fucking play with, like a fucking moron. You know what I mean? So I would get stuff under the Christmas tree. I can't say that I would enjoy it much. I'll throw in something that I wished I was a lot better at because I love the idea of it. And that's the Etch-a-Sketch, the world famous Etch-a-Sketch.
love an Etch-a-Sketch.
Not, it's annoying though. It's annoying because you'll see that somebody made the Mona Lisa with it.
Doesn't make sense. Like, how
And-
did they do it?
Yeah, no, I could only really make the grid.
Yeah, like I would try to practice making perfect circles, like where you get like the turn, you're able to like maneuver it where you can get
you
that
try your
curvature, and
ass
it's very
off.
difficult.
Very, very hard. Now, I did break it open before to get some of that silver stuff outside.
Really?
And yeah, I cut it in the rails, snorted it,
Oh.
Oh no.
pulled on my ears, square popped up on my forehead. Parents walked in and I had to shake it out real fast. I didn't know what I was up to. Does that make sense to you, Vito? Was what I just said make any sense, or is that lost? You look, Vito, give me your toy.
The Tamagotchi took over my generation when I was growing up.
Tamagotchi, let's take a look at it. And tell me what was thrilling about it.
It was, if you couldn't have a pet, it was a little egg that you basically had to just check up on every like few hours and feed it and take it for a walk.
yeah. Now I remember this. I didn't know what you were talking about.
I had one, and in like the most 90s thing that could ever happen, because you could name your little Tamagotchi pet, and I named it Jinko after the jeans. So
That's
what
meta 90s.
could be more 90s?
So weird.
That was keychained on every kid's backpack.
Now, I wonder if games make it in, because I was a board game guy. First board game anyone ever got in their life. It's the first board game, I think, for every child is Candyland.
Love.
And Candyland, it couldn't be more simple, but there's something like toddler colorful about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I enjoyed more looking at the board than even just like
Oh, yeah.
playing the game. Like the game is just like nothing. It's just like,
Well, when you're 2, it's everything. Though.
Yeah.
You forget how quickly you outgrow it. But it's a fun way to get a kid to understand what a game is.
but I was obsessive with just like looking at the different like the different characters. Because remember, it was like Gumdrop
It was all
guy and like
animated, yeah.
Licorice guy.
All right, let's go to Adam. Adam, what's up?
Hey guys, how we doing?
Good.
I was always a big Nerf gun guy. So unless you had a dog running around, you probably were good for about one shot.
Well, here is the beautiful thing about any Nerf ball. First of all, it's the world's greatest fucking toy, indoor toy, because you're really not breaking stuff. But in a pool, if you soak that ball and throw it at a friend, it's like hitting them with a rock.
It's crazy.
So that's very, very thrilling. The second thing is that little pieces break off into the pool, and someone's dad is always furious. And you're like, but you don't understand the fun that we're having.
We're just enjoying ourselves so much.
So the Nerf ball, I wouldn't go so far to say the gun, because I thought that they kind of worked shitty, but the ball itself, and you could have it as like a little basketball and a hoop for your
Right.
bedroom, which is, would be hours of fun, and you couldn't believe some of the shots you lucked out with. The football, they were all great.
Love the football.
Yeah.
The Nerf is not in the Hall of Fame.
Now, the fact that anything like little people would go in before a Nerf ball is fucking ridiculous to me. And this, I want to start a new volume, kind of a volume radio station, but just talking about toys.
It's toy discussion.
I'd love to get Eddie Trunk, whatever the toy version of Eddie Trunk is, into this. Here is Greg in Georgia. Greg.
Bennington, good to hear you.
Nice.
Yeah, what's funny about the Toy Hall of Fame, or what's the most memorable toy? I'm about the same age as you, Ron, and they had some toys in the 60s and 70s that were like lethal, like lawn darts or the clappers. And
Lawn darts. Do you guys know what lawn darts are?
Yeah.
Never played with lawn darts.
You know what they look like, though, right?
Aren't they like giant darts?
They're giant, like spear-style darts that you would throw into a circle. But there was another game that come out of it where all the kids stand together, you throw a lawn dart high into the air, and then all the kids run.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
And the excitement level of running with your hands over your heads, screaming. And then we would always be caught by an adult who would act like, why aren't you using the lawn dart properly?
This fucking lawn dart's gigantic.
It's a really fun game, though. It's like horseshoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You play it the same way as horseshoes, or kind of a bocce game where you just...
Right.
So that game on
Closest
its own...
person gets the point.
Yeah, you try to get into the circle. That's fun. Not nearly as fun as we used to call it lawn dart suicide. Chuck the lawn dart into the air, run. Now, if you run at a decent space, but this is what you can't trust all the kids to do. To throw it directly high. Some went at like a 90-degree angle.
So then running
and somebody
is-
would be running right into the lawn dart.
Oh, shit.
Now, the other part of it is when your friend got hit with a lawn dart, your fucking happiness level is off the charts because a dart has gone into your friend. But you can't explain that to adults. You cannot explain that to them. Let's go, let's try it here. Russ, Iowa.
Hey, my parents got these things called soccer boppers so my brother and I could beat on each other without getting hurt. So soft plastic.
Yeah, I remember these things.
Cylindrical.
They were like
where you put your
boxing
hands in the
gloves. Yeah, they were like boxing gloves that you weren't supposed to get hurt at. But somebody actually came up with the idea of here's a way for kids to punch each other. I mean, an adult invented soccer boppers.
Well, kids love to beat the shit out of each other,
It's
right?
just a pussier version of boxing gloves. Gary, Virginia.
How you doing today?
Great.
My thing as a kid was Battleship. And then how long did it take before you started moving your ships around so they wouldn't get you?
Well, first of all, I love the game Battleship because it was a real strategy game. Second, you could sit and easily play it with two pieces of paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just draw up that fucking grid, X in your things, which is easier than moving around. You didn't need the game itself, but it was an exciting game.
I loved it.
It was, I'm not going to lie, I had anxiety playing it.
Oh, yeah,
Like
you
the
should.
anxiety of waiting for someone to make the call. and then you just have the information. You're just like, oh my God. I don't know why. It just really freaked me out as a kid.
You had the anxiety of war, and that was.
Yes.
I mean, you had the anxiety of what it was like to be an admiral, and knowing that you needed to destroy that other fleet. Tom, Montana.
Hey, Stretch Armstrong.
Another tactile thing, like you were saying.
Comforting.
It was comforting to stretch it. It worked your muscles. It felt good in your fingers. And there was a couple different versions of this as well, right? I
think
would be
there
like
was
a green one and then this. But it just felt good to pull on it.
Right.
Yeah, the Hulk one I remember.
And also you could and the dog. There was like a wiener dog that you could, that was like the same idea.
Fetch Armstrong.
I
never owned one.
And the best thing too is like if you want to make your friends laugh, you just pull the little weenie area and then you can make like a little penis.
You would have made your friends laugh more if you would just pulled their little weenie. They would have really enjoyed that game.
Oh, don't worry, I did that.
Dirk, Alabama.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I just found out Gail had a bad mom.
First time caller. Love y'all show.
Thanks, bro.
I'm going to go old school on the toy thing. I hope someone hadn't mentioned it. The old electric football game.
Well, the electric football game, you and I are old enough to remember that. Young people would not. You would have the chance to get all these little football players. You painted them, and then you would set them up. You turned on this electric kind of hot plate.
Oh, and they like kind of
vibrated. And then you would wait to see if your guy could run. It was a fucking nightmare of a toy. A nightmare of a toy.
I always wanted one. I always saw, like, what's that electric football game
Believe me,
about?
The excitement of opening up electric football game was the only excitement that you were going to have on Christmas morning because the game itself sucked. Now, two different things could be done with it. One, you could do what I do and just set up the crowd and then play talk show in front of it. Or two, it seemed like it was a very valuable young thing for young girls to straddle and turn on the game. And there was a lot of guys who said their sister had crouched upon their electric football game.
Oh, God.
Many times.
It's making a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it was like this first sex toy for a lot of young suburban girls. But the idea of it was massive. The execution sucked.
Yeah.
Didn't mean that you didn't play it. Didn't mean that you didn't try to cheat and make things happen. Let's go. Well, Chuck has one that has to be in there. Chuck in North Carolina. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Good, pal.
You know, you was talking about that electric football. Remember that little white thing that was supposed to be the fucking football?
Yeah.
Like a little piece of cotton or foam? That was a piece of shit.
Yeah, you would have to just tear off a piece of a matchbook and put it in there.
That was it?
A cotton ball, because you would lose the little foam football. You couldn't. I mean, kids can't keep an eye on these kind of details.
Yeah. I was thinking back when I was a kid, I guess a yo-yo has to be in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yo-yo is in the Hall of Fame, and I think.
How about, I know it might not be a Hall of Fame toy, but it seems like everybody fucking had one, was a fucking Slinky.
Now,
remember them things?
Oh, yeah. A Slinky was unbelievable. It was invented by a guy who ran a lathe and found out that his kids just like playing with it.
Brilliant.
He made some money.
Oh, yeah. Now, they still make the Slinky, but it's plastic, and that blows.
No, they don't make any metal Slinkies anymore?
I don't think so. I haven't seen one in years. The metal Slinkies
Hey, and
were...
what was, excuse me, what was the little green man that you could bend it and do it all around? What was that little toy's name? It was like 7 or 8 inches high, and it was green. You could bend it to arms and legs.
Gumby?
Gumby, that's it.
All right, that was that was actually a TV show. All right, thanks, Chuck. You're just running. You're running the gamut here. You've come up with 3 or 4 within a minute. But the Slinky, it was really funny to me when I went to Florida to find out that the kids there, they didn't know that a Slinky could walk downstairs because they didn't have a second floor to their house.
So sad.
So a big part of the fun was to have stairs, especially if they didn't have carpeting on them. to make that slinky, because once it started, it went down, it looked like a little pair of legs, like a little fat pair of legs. It was thrilling. But you would bend it out so far that it would get sharp, and you would end up wrapping it around your cousin's neck and shit like that.
It's interesting that I was thinking with the slinky and with the yo-yo, again, just like the silly putty, there's like something there that's just like comfort, like
Right.
Zen kind of stuff, I think, is like really comforting to kids.
Well, the slinky is literally a fucking work of genius. I mean, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. They say that some tribe used to hunt with yo-yos, which is, again, the yo-yo is fucking unbelievable. When you see somebody who can really do a yo-yo, it's like seeing somebody who can really do close-up magic. You're like, should have fucking stuck with this. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
I mean, if you walk down the street and you saw someone fucking doing all the yo-yo trips, you'd stop. It's still fucking unbelievable to you.
Yo-yo's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's fucking...
Slinky is, though, but no yo-yo.
That doesn't make sense. You're going to put those little play school characters in before that? The yo-yo is...
He's drunk. The yo-yo is in, and I'm betting fucking money.
A Duncan yo-yo.
Oh, yes.
I was looking under why.
That has to be in.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Pete in Canada.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Great. First of all, I got to say, it's the first time I ever called here. Gail, I love your laugh.
Oh, thanks.
How about mine?
entertain me every afternoon. It's awesome.
I love yours.
What about my laugh?
Ooh.
It's pretty good, but I think Chris's is topped yours a little
Well,
bit.
Chris has got a fucking ridiculous, I'm ready to pee myself laugh.
Well, there you go. And as far as being from Canada is concerned, I don't know where Chuck's from, but that accent that he had was awesome.
Well, he's North Carolina.
Well, there you go. Anyway, as far as toys go,
No.
what I hadn't heard mentioned yet was Spirograph.
Spirograph, interesting one. Probably a late 60s jump into this deal.
Yeah, I can remember playing with that when I was like 5 or 6, and then like 1970 back in the day.
Yeah, there was a very big thing where girls would pay more attention to it than
Loved
boys.
it.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I would play with my neighbors. All the girls would get together. They would do them. And then sometimes you would just like, I don't know, like this is probably not like a boy. You would like look at it and just be like, I've really done something great. Like I would have to be like, Mom.
That's always the funny thing
Look at
when
this.
you would bring a spirograph to your parents.
Right.
You expect more of a result than you
So
got.
what I've done here is like a beautiful mandala. Okay.
And this is the way your parents are. Oh, yeah. You made a spirograph.
I mean, you really see something in me, don't you? I mean,
do.
like a certain artistic talent that
I
you
guess
didn't
I
realize
do, yeah.
that I had.
John, what's up, buddy?
Hey, my first game was Shoots and Ladders.
Shoots and Ladders, also a very early game. See if it's under the name that I put it. I used to call it Shits and Ladders, which let the neighborhood kids know that I had quite the wit.
Not there.
Shoots and Ladders belongs in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt.
The devastation of getting like the wrong spin and like heading down the chute, like that really long one.
What are you going to
Just
do?
forget it.
That's part of the fucking game. That's part of the game. I have to say this, though. I mean, checkers is in, right?
Yes, checkers is in.
What about Parcheesi or Chinese checkers?
Parcheesi is one of those things like, I know that it is brought up, but I don't think I really understand what Parcheesi is.
Not in.
It's an Indian game.
I've never played it.
Somewhat like dominoes or something like that, where
Right.
you're like, oh, this looks impossible. And then you start to play it and you're like, oh, kind of
Or like kind of game where like you're like an adult is playing a game and you're like, what's this? How do you play this? And they start to explain it and then you just wander away. Like, no, I didn't mean that. I don't want to learn
But look
that
what
game.
a beautiful
that's
board and all.
pretty.
Yeah, it's from India.
I've never played Parcheesi.
I have.
Is it fun?
What game isn't fun, Chris?
I mean,
There's
that's the whole point.
Non-fun game. Tag is fucking fun if you're the right fucking
Oh my
age.
God.
See if Tag's in there.
Not seeing it.
Concept of tag.
There is nothing better than playing tag with one slow or younger kid and leaving them out there on their own for quite some time. Mike in Virginia.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got two quick things to say. Number one, you got to make a distinction between toys and games.
Well, they do. They put in one.
Okay.
Here's what I think they do. They put in one game a year or one toy a year, but then it looks like they just have like a weird generic thing.
Gotcha.
Where the swing went
One. One. Wow.
And things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the one I got, the toy. Has anyone mentioned the pogo stick?
No one mentioned pogo stick. And is it up there, Chris?
Not on here, no.
It seemed to be like a 1950s celebration, you know? Again, chipped teeth, broken ankles. You know, as the years went by, they got rid of toys that were fun but dangerous.
My neighbor had a pogo stick, so I didn't have it, but I would play with it when I went to her house. And I was good at it. But when you fuck up, like when you fall, you take that pedal right to the shin.
Yeah.
And it can like either like just whack you really hard there or like scrape upward. It's not good.
We're talking about the Toy Hall of Fame. Obviously, why not? You know, with all the divisiveness in the country, why can't we just agree? Some toys belong in the Hall of Fame. Some, like fucking Vito's stupid little mechanical thing.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, you know what? Get a pet if that's what you're fucking after. No toy should be something that needs to be taken care of. No toy should be, to me, a game is one thing, but a toy should be able to be played solo.
But girls, I mean, no offense to you, Vito, but girls really like that. To them, that is fun.
It's a doll baby.
Like it's like a doll baby. Exactly.
Yeah, I never wanted anything that I had to take care of.
Right. Which is really weird that, I mean, the doll babies were my first toys that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of like what that is, that's very, like, a little girl immediately is just like, I'll be the mom of this. It's like immediately.
It's odd. And they all, many of them do it. Some have no fucking time for it. But if anybody wants to know what Gail was like as a little girl, just think of her as now. There was not like, we were like, oh, she's so talkative and thoughtful. Yeah. She's really going to go places, this one, you know, but she's literally stayed the same. It's been just a direct line.
Yeah.
A direct line.
No better, no worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
she would feel sorry for the little things and stand up to the mean things. Nothing has changed. But I do remember one time when you said that your doll, when you were little, was Jesus and that you were Mary. And it was like, almost like, oh, this is odd. I don't know whether this passion play should be going on. So what I did was turn up the TV.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I just turned up the TV when it got unusual. Brian in Texas.
Hey, Bennington.
Yeah.
Growing up in Florida, I used to always love playing on the slip and slide.
The slip and slide actually became the water park.
Yeah.
The slip and slide was around before the water park. And when you go to any water park, it's just a longer slip and slide. That's all. It's a slip and slide with a lot of money. But the second I saw a slip and slide, I ran at it and just went crazy.
I always wanted one. No one ever
Well, you didn't live in a slip and slide world.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Slip and slide down the fucking sidewalk?
Couldn't happen.
You're not going to let you go out in the park and slip and slide.
On grass, I'll tell you right now, it's not much better.
No.
You see the kids in the commercial and they're running, they're fucking diving.
Time of their lives.
And then you're like, you see it, you have the confidence that this is going to go well. And immediately, like, you're hitting rocks as you, like, it's very painful.
They always end bad. Every slip and slide ends with it's the end of it and you're tumbling through grass. But what was always funny too is to have a slip and slide near a pool, because then you would dive back in the pool and take all that fucking grass with you. And then the dad would come home and bitch. And he goes, look, this is an above ground pool.
Also, when I was a kid, there was one that came out that was like a slip and slide that had a gator at the end of it, this plastic gator head. So it looked like you were going to go into the gator's mouth. Seemed great. When we got it, it was so painful because you were just like hitting this like really hard plastic gator. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea.
Let's go to Mark in Michigan.
Good afternoon, Benningtons.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
$1,000,000 to you guys.
Hey.
Wham-O used to make a toy called the Water Wiggle. This damn thing you hooked up to a hose, and it had a hard plastic head on the end of it that would swing around like a son of a bitch. And I'll tell you what, if that son of a bitch knocked you in the forehead, you would remember that for days.
Wham-O was an amazing company and one of the first corporations I wanted to hook up with when I was a child.
Yeah, I had a neighbor who was kind of a waterhead, and we used to always invite him over because he was kind of slow moving around and whatnot. He could never dodge that damn thing. And just like you had said earlier, there's something just great about watching your buddy getting his clock cleaned. I don't know what the hell it is about.
I don't know,
being a
but
kid,
it's like a punked thing. It's
you know
just
what?
fun.
Now looking at it, when you said it, I realized I don't know what a water wiggle is. This is the first time I'm seeing it, and I thought he meant like a water. What are they, like a water snake? You know those like
they're all the
tube
same. They're all the same thing, and you hook them to the end of the hose.
No, this was that thing that it's like you would get it when you were on school trips, and it's like a plastic. It's basically what are those like vaginas that people
vagina?
those fake vaginas that people have sex with?
Yeah,
Like
a fleshlight. A fleshlight.
Oh.
It was like the first fleshlight. Chris, that's just a snake. You had it before.
What are you doing, Chris? Just putting the pictures of snakes now?
That on the top. It's like that.
And what happened?
Click it,
Did
Chris.
water come through it?
Yeah. No, it doesn't come through it. It's just like it's like a jelly plastic thing filled with like a goo or water, and you can like stick your hand in it and it moves.
I don't even know this fucking weird
And
stuff.
I know boys.
fucked it?
Yeah, I think boys would put their penis in it. It's like a baby.
Most men would do that now if they had.
Oh,
to.
sure.
Give it to the Trump cuck. I'm sure he'll run through it in a heartbeat.
We're going to fuck it.
It's the Toy Hall of Fame. It's out. Chris, tell us who went in this year. Big congratulations to
The Swing.
First of all,
Should have been earlier, but congratulations.
The swing. The best thing that you know that you're getting too old for a swing when you can get so high that it just drops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love
When you
that
get up
feeling.
so high that it just dropped down. I would make the case though that any backyard swing sucks compared to any school swing. A school swing or the real swing.
Right, like a really solid
Yeah.
playground swing.
When you start to lift the things off and
That's
the
bad.
ones at home, it just stinks. It's
Those
just
two
awful.
stink.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Don't know the game? Happy for the nerds.
Yeah, it seems like it belongs.
And finally, for this year, Fisher Price's Little People.
This one I would vote against.
Right.
I'm not going to lie to you. That's
It's fine for the pediatrician's office. Other than that, it's boring.
Here's Steve. Steve, what's up?
What
Steve.
about the board game Operation?
Operation is one of those things that's better on the commercial than it is in real life.
In real life, very anxiety inducing. I wasn't having fun. I was anxious.
And
shocked.
Yeah, also you're looking at people that have no real hand-eye coordination. I mean, nobody with it. You know what I mean? But there's not going to be a lot of 19-year-olds playing.
I just want to clarify for Chris, it does not shock
It feels
children.
like a shock.
It just makes a loud buzz.
It's just vibration there.
We just lost another person. I don't even think you guys know that he's done the show before. Robert Vaughn, who was the man from Uncle.
Oh,
He passed away.
When did this just came through?
Just happening right now. It's what we like to call in this business the spy report. Hey Jay, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
The most versatile, greatest toy of all time for me, and when I was into it, I was super into it, was the Frisbee.
Well, you're from
If I could-
Connecticut. That's where
you
the
could do
Frisbee's from,
All
right?
kinds of stuff.
The Frisbee was like a pie plate that a guy from Connecticut decided this is like a fun fucking game.
Yeah.
Maybe it was at one of the schools. But a Frisbee, which you see less and less of all the time, at one time, I mean, you couldn't walk through any park because of the Frisbees. Now, to me, the best animal in the world is a Frisbee dog.
Oh, God.
Catches a Frisbee.
I don't know what I would do. I mean, I would be so thrilled to have a Frisbee dog. I have whatever the polar opposite of a Frisbee dog is. She could not, I mean, she doesn't even chase a ball. She could care less when you throw an object and look at her with
Even if
hopes
it's
and
food.
desires.
She lets food drop to the ground and then gets it.
Yeah, she's like, well, all right, I'll get it.
She just pushes her face against it. She's really annoying.
But that is the only ball she'll play with, is like those ones that you like, the treat is inside.
Yeah.
But the only motivator there is food. Like, it's not for love of the game. It really isn't.
Am I watching your dog again this weekend?
You are, yeah.
This is always funny because like last week I'm watching the game and your mom brings me out a sandwich and the dog is like walking along like we're getting a sandwich. I'm fucking cracking up. I'm like, it's up to me. I'd let you eat the sandwich. I'd fucking give you chunks right now. It's Gail that's the problem, but you're not going to pick up on that.
But you, like, it could not make you feel guiltier because her face is just so like, well, this is great for everyone, right? I mean, this is really good news because we're all eating sandwiches.
And then you give her a piece of shitty fucking, what do you call it, food that she doesn't care about?
Like a dog treat.
By the way, I think Frisbee was also a Wham-O toy.
Frisbee was Wham-O.
Go to the Wham-O website. Let me just go over how genius this fucking company was. I mean, they were unbelievable. They were the Willy Wonka of the 60s and 70s.
And Wham-O was the Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think Wham-O had Super Bowl. They just had a bunch of great shit. Let's go to Dalton in Oklahoma. Hey, Dalton, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, we have an action figure Hall of Fame down here in a small town called Paul's Valley. It's on its way to Dallas. And these action figures, it's actually pretty good size, but these action figures are just sitting out. They've got this really great kind of setup with it, but the kids, because of where it is, the kids are determined to go in there and touch them and play with them and stuff like that. So what you got is the kids don't understand, so it's like a giant toy store for them.
Uh-huh.
So you're constantly dragging your kid out of this Hall of Fame, out of the deal where all the things are to get it out. They also make this place the kind of go-to spot for the mentally challenged and the elderly during the day for their day visit.
It sounds like a lot of fun for that. I never was an action figure guy. I wanted a G.I. Joe. My dad and brother nixed it because of the fact that it looked too much like a doll. And I said, it's not a doll. It's a G.I. Joe. And they go, do you change its pants? And I go, well, you put other uniforms on it.
Sure. If you want to change the uniform.
So they would not allow it.
All right. So Wham-O toys, it looks like hula hoop.
Unbelievable. First of all, right there.
Yeah.
Hula hoop. Unbelievable.
Frisbee.
Unbelievable.
Slip and slide. Super ball. Track ball. Silly string. Hacky sack. And the boogie board.
This company makes fucking Google look like a bunch of goddamn potato farmers. That's unbelievable.
It's insane.
Well, that's like hearing about the Beatles. It's like somebody just starts to list off the Beatles songs. These are unbelievable fucking toys, one after another. How do they do it? How do the great folks of Wham-O understand what is fun so easily?
Brilliant bastards.
You brilliant sons of bitches, you.
Damn it, Wham-O, you've done it again.
There's a guy named Frank Wham-O who's just coming up. I mean, he's like a bored guy, so he could just look over and he's like, how can I make this water bottle fun? What can we do with this?
But then also this, for kids.
For kids. That's the greatest fucking toy movie of all time.
It's so good.
That makes Willy Wonka look like a fucking asshole.
I like how Willy Wonka took the positive and the negative in this same conversation.
fuck 'em.
They're like Willy Wonka. Actually, Willy Wonka's a piece of
She's
shit.
a cuck.
For kids.
For kids.
Christina, what's up?
Hi.
Hey.
How you guys?
What's up? Good to talk to you again. You feeling better today?
I am feeling better today, yes,
Good.
a little bit. He's still a moron, but what can you do?
That's right.
I have two toys, one for girl, one for boys.
Yeah.
Hasn't been mentioned. Barbie doll and Smash Up Derby.
Now, this was your world, Christina. You were enjoying both. You were enjoying the Barbie doll. You were enjoying this Smash Up Derby.
Absolutely.
The Smash Up Derby is you would put together a thing, and then when it hit, the springs would make your car explode.
On the front and rear bumpers had little pistons that would push out They're not actually on springs, but it would push out from the impact.
Yeah. Now, and then you loved the Barbie doll when you were a kid.
Absolutely.
Did you like them?
I did. I did kind of play with them differently than I think a lot of girls or a lot of what people expect girls to play with them, which was really just constructing worlds and storylines. So it wasn't like I would get together with my friends and be like, let's put on this dress. You know, it wasn't really like that, but it would be like, these are the characters of a storyline that you're creating, just like you would probably do the same with an army man.
Okay.
So you're basically trying to be a soap opera writer back when you were a kid.
Yeah, that's where you were going. You were writing a soap opera.
And then I used to like make my brother sit down, and then I would like put on like a play that was there was a
time
for the seasons of loving.
They would do this fucking stupid thing. It was so fucking ridiculous.
I was like, that
they
was
had a theme to this show that she put on.
Yeah. And then they would run towards each other in slow motion and kiss. It was a comedy.
It was
it sounds like
comedy.
It was like a romantic comedy.
Rom-com?
I mean, it went over big. I mean, I got some pretty big laughs.
He really was like, hey, make up a thing. Yeah.
There was a toy when I was a kid that my dad burnt out 3 of them before we ever got them by playing with them.
What's that?
Have you ever heard of something called a whirly-bird?
Oh, yeah. That was that flying thing that you could fly inside your house.
Yeah.
All right, great
It's got
talking
the
to you,
little
Christine.
chopper that you could pick up the army men with the hook and then go around in circles. My dad and his buddy burnt out 3 of them before my sister and I got them.
All right, great to talk to you, Christina. Here is our friend Sharon Doherty. Sharon.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Happy Thanksgiving a few days in advance.
Yeah, very, very exciting.
It's going to be great. I'm calling to defend Dungeons & Dragons. I want to fly my nerd flag a little bit. I think the reason that Dungeons & Dragons has become so classic is that it really begat, like, the generation of video games like Grand Theft Auto and that sort of thing where you had, like, choices and made the game go in different directions. So you kind of role-played it. You got to be a character and got to direct the way the game went.
Yeah, this was the beginning of everything that's bad. That's what is the truth. It's the start of that nerd culture. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the start, but it was kind of what celebrated it. But it was fun, and it gave us something to do for an entire weekend. But it also begat some romantic hookups and some friendships because you could role play within your characters, flirting, and when you had boys and girls in the group. I guess when it was all boys, it didn't happen so often.
I still think there was plenty of kissing and flirting there too. All right, thanks, Sharon. By the way, we're not in on Monday, so we'll see you Monday night.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, see you then. Bye.
Okay, take care.
Monday night, we're doing our big Thanksgiving show. And Chris, all the invites went out.
All the invites haven't gone out. Yes,
and you got your RSVPs. And
yes,
we've got some special fun guests coming in. It's going to be a fun time. Plus, we're eating turkey.
Yes,
and celebrating together.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. Unmasked with Bert Kreischer coming up in an hour. And if you go over to Twitter, you will see that we have a signed Bert Kreischer picture to give out. It's fantastic. All part of his big hour special, The Machine, that premieres tonight on Showtime at 10 o'clock. Make sure you watch that too. He's a very funny guy. He's a sweet, sweet, crazy, fun guy. Everybody in comedy just loves Bert.
I've never heard the Machine story all the way through, so I'll be watching this tonight.
Yeah,
I have, and it's unfucking believable.
Like he just says some things to it in the Unmasked, and I can't wait to see the special. I cannot wait to see this thing.
He's been telling the story for a while. He wanted to do it in his special so he could kind of more or less put it to bed, or at least have it on record. It's an unbelievably funny guy. He's so unique. He's literally unique, and we'll talk about that a little later. But for first responders, you can win the signed Unmasked. This is a real collector's item. I don't think we've ever given one away, have we?
We gave away one for Big J, for Big J's Unmasked.
Okay, so we did this before for Big J. We're doing this with Bert Kreischer. It's a great picture.
It's such a good picture.
It's a real collectible.
Like the pose in itself would be funny, but his expression is so damn funny, so serious. It's like an Annie Leibovitz photograph.
It really is. It's just stunning. I mean, you've captured that part of his personality, and there's a lot of parts to his personality.
Yeah.
And the Unmasked is just, it's one of the funnest times I ever had. I mean, I did him and Segura so close together. And I'm so crazy fond of both of those guys, and they're always together in my head, even though they always bump into each other from time to time. But Bert Kreischer. Today at 2:00 and then all weekend long. And then his special, The Machine, premieres tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be watching it in real time. I didn't ask to get a copy of this before because I wanted to watch it with everyone. I don't know why it's my favorite thing to know other people are laughing at the same time. Signed poster to give away for first responders following the Unmasked. We'll be right back. This is Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Make sure you win that signed Bert Kreischer Unmasked poster. Be a first responder after we play the Unmasked today. I know you're going to enjoy that. You can see it up on Twitter. Am I correct when I said?
Yes, you are correct.
All right, first responders, just, write some nice stuff to Bert and, use us as well. And then if we like it, you're the guy who gets the big poster. Chris, where are the posters that we're supposed to be signing for Thanksgiving?
Marcus Hook, our intern, they're in the building. We have to find out where in the building they are.
I don't know if I trust Marcus Hook to be the guy who runs around doing stuff. Hey, sitting in with us this hour, our friend Nina. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you guys?
Nina.
First of all, very sparkly tie.
Thank you. I wore it just for you guys.
I'm glad.
Very cool look.
Thank you.
It gives us, do you remember like the thin tie new wave look?
Yeah, like
that was my
the
favorite.
skinny tie mod look.
I think it's still in though.
I hear skinny ties out.
Really?
I just read it, I believe, in Esquire the other day. I don't know what makes something in and makes something out.
Should I take my tie off
No,
now?
no,
since they're out?
No, because I still think skinny ties work best on women.
When Esquire writes, they only write from a male point of view.
Oh.
But even so, I still prefer a skinny tie on a man. I think it's a better look.
You don't like a big, thick Billy Joel tie that looks like a clown
Especially
coming down the
when
street?
the tie is short on the man.
Yes.
It's the worst.
That's what I like. I like a short, fat tie. Chode. It's a chode tie.
A chode tie.
That's what you're after. So we just found out you live in Jersey, not in the city.
No, I live in Cliffside Park, New Jersey.
That's the thing. Chris has never been to Jersey. He's never crossed.
You've never been to Jersey?
No, it's story born and bred.
You're not missing out on anything.
I don't know.
You know what? They're going to have the most powerful man in the world. Chris Christie comes from New Jersey, and he's going to be running everything for the Trump thing right now, the transition, which I don't know why the people in New Jersey who elect the governor aren't pissed. Like, we elected you to do our thing.
Yeah. And now you're going to cut and run. You're like, I got a promotion.
It's one thing to cut and run, then you could put another person in. But he's been working on Trump's stuff, and then before that, his own campaign for like the last 2 months.
You're right. That's probably way worse. You're like, yeah, I'll get to it. I got other stuff to do.
You're just like, I get that you're worried about your career, but we elected you. We would like to have you serve. Although I think he's only got a 21% approval rating.
Really?
Yeah, 21%. And that's just from people who he stops and buys slices from. They love him. So you're enjoying working here at Sirius XM. How long you been here?
I interned here for about 7 months, and then this past May, I got hired.
Great. Who did you intern for?
I interned for Dino Bidella on the Insight Channel. I work on his show now, noon to 1, and then I do Daily Beast, and I fill in on a trillion other shows.
That's the funny thing. Yeah, that's how we met you. You filled in on our show before. But that's the funny thing about there's certain people here, they just float. From one to the other
Progress
to the other.
POTUS to Volume.
Do you like Volume?
Yeah, I only did it twice. It was really...
Whose show?
Feedback in the Morning, and they had on Guar.
Oh, yeah, I saw that the day that they were in.
And that was really interesting. They smelled really bad.
That's their thing.
It wasn't.
Well, you're not going to get those costumes washed very frequently.
Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be a lot.
and I were just pulled out our perfumes and just went crazy.
Yeah, they sweat up those costumes. And then
It smells like burnt plastic.
Yeah. Are they the same Guar that's always been around, or they switch out members and we never know?
How would you know?
I think they switch out members because I know they had a girl, but I think she got kicked out. Or she quit, or I don't know what.
Like, are there any original members of Guar?
I would hope. There's one guy.
At least one?
Yeah, just one person. Like, I've been playing bass with this band for 30
I will
years.
admit, one of those dudes had like those shoes that were like the most massive platforms, and I was like, I need
They
those.
look like elephant trunk.
Are you saying that you need higher platforms than you wear now?
Yes,
Because
I
that's
am.
hard to believe. I would like to see you in a pair of flats and just disappear. Just be gone so no one could
That's
find
what
you.
happens. Then like, I'm just like, I can't today. But usually, I'm usually wearing stilts for the most part.
I want to do more stuff with the volume.
Yeah, it's a very cool channel.
I like arguing about music. I could argue about music all the time. What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of indie stuff, Boyce Avenue, Alex Go. I like YouTube people mostly. I think they're the most talented, and they're just undermined because they're not mainstream.
Mhm.
But
these are people who are like writing original music,
exactly,
and then sharing
They produce
it.
it themselves. They play their own instruments. They record their own videos and post it. I think that takes a lot of talent.
Who do you think is the most out of all of them? Who's your favorite?
YouTube?
Yeah.
Definitely Boyce Avenue.
Mhm.
They're three brothers.
Uh-huh.
They cover a lot of music, but they also have their own album, and it's just very sad and depressing, and it's lovely.
I never find, you know what I mean? Like, someone has to give it to me because I'm not going to search through YouTube until I find it myself. That's too frustrating for me.
I think that's also just even music in general. Like, you hit an age where you're just like, just bring it to me.
Bring it to me.
Just hand it to me, and then I'll be like, this is great.
Play it while I'm in the car would be fantastic. That would be my favorite thing. Chris, when's the last time you got into a new band?
Oh, I was probably like 3 or 4 years ago with Sally Ford and the Sound Outside.
And that was it.
That's I've tried to think, like, that's the last new band I listened to. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. I love this. And they broke up. I'm like, fuck.
Well, people break up, Chris. What are you going to do?
It makes me sad, though. I really love that band.
I know that you're sad, but they have their own lives.
I want them.
They're not here to serve you.
Well, there's other fans besides me.
They're not allowed to break up.
Yeah.
I just got into that Savoy Motel and got that album. And it's always great when you're like, oh, good, a brand new album that I love. And then you're like, everything's okay in the world. Like,
Because they got a
like,
new album.
Yeah, like you're just like, okay, you have a new album.
And then,
I'm
but
gonna
what
be
if they
all
make
right.
another album? You don't like it. You
Stinks.
just
I need someone else.
Yeah. It becomes very, very depressing if, like, the band that you like makes an album that you hate. On the hotline right now, there's only 3 people left. And one of them is on the hotline right now. Mitchell Walters. Mitchell Walters, still part of Highlander. What's up,
Hello,
Mitchell?
Ronnie.
Yeah.
I'm out in Las Vegas collecting my Trump money.
Uh-huh. Good. You bet on Trump. Thank you.
I bet on Trump. I did. I put up 100 to win 380 in August.
Is that right? Did you realize he bets on everything?
Oh my God.
No, I came out to in August. He was almost a 4-1 underdog.
Uh-huh.
You had to put up 100 to win 380. I can't stand Hillary. I don't like the outfit. And I went for the good hair. That's all.
Attack of the pantsuit.
Yeah, it's an attack on a pantsuit.
You
I saw
just
Bill
don't
Burr.
like a mandarin collar. Some people don't.
Bill Burr said that she dressed like a realtor, and that's why he.
Yeah,
couldn't
like
go.
give her a naval jacket, make it look tight.
Now, Robbie Slowick, who was one of the other 3 people, he took the Ravens last night, Mitchell. So, problem. He's already got through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with Arizona. I'm making it publicly known I'm taking Arizona. Wow.
Yeah. I saw Florentine yesterday, too. He's as locked in as you are. This is a battle of the champions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Who's
Well,
Arizona
it's
playing?
beautiful here.
49ers.
I'm going to bring you, for 49ers.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to bring you a nice T-shirt back from Las Vegas. I'm going to bring it to the office.
Okay, good. Bring a nice T-shirt in. That's what we're always saying. We need T-shirts in this business. All right, Mitchell. Flathead's going to be at a fucking Eagles game this weekend, so lock it up, buddy.
Oh, I'm going to bet Eagles. I'm in Vegas. I'll be here at the MGM through Monday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go see David Copperfield tonight because I'm off.
You know him when he was a kid, right?
Yeah, since we're 12 years old.
Yeah. They were little New York musicians together. One of them is doing very well.
All right, it's time for a cocktail. Goodbye, Ron.
All right, nice to talk to you.
Gail.
Bye.
Mitchell is he's one of the old dames of comedy. Just an elderly woman out there knocking it,
We've been texting a lot. He's been in Vegas for a while now.
Oh, yeah, he goes to Vegas for quite some time.
I feel like it's been 2 weeks.
I'm going to go see David Copperfield and see if, they can just float me a little money and everything will work out,
He sent me a text. Give me the Cardinals. Lock it up.
Knock it up. I got a party package. I'm sitting here. I got a 19-year-old girl with me. It's perfect. It's one of the Olsen twins. Did you see the Daily News did that thing of the Olsen twins? They were both out. They're both, I think, 30. And they were both out with guys that were nearing 60.
Right. One of them is married to one. One is...
I didn't know that.
And the other one is, I think, dating.
Yeah. They were on a double
guy.
date.
Yeah.
So there they are. Is that the married one?
Yeah.
By the way, they're still cute as buttons, these Olsen
Oh,
twins.
yeah. They really are.
But do you think the Daily News should be bringing attention that they're dating outside of their age class?
They are obsessed with it. Because when the first one married that... Okay, so that's actually the new guy.
Yeah.
The other one down there, I think that's MK. Mary Kate's the one with the darker hair, right?
I don't know.
They dye their hair.
I don't know.
That's Mary Kate, yeah.
Okay, so that's the dude that she married. And I don't know, what's the age difference there, Chris?
It's about 28 to 30 years on both of them.
Yeah. The husband's 47 years old and she's 30.
There used to, but this other guy that's dating is 60.
Yeah.
Now, there used to be the half your age plus 7 is totally acceptable.
Yes. That was the go-to thing, that if you take your age, cut it in half, add 7, that should be the youngest that you should date.
That wouldn't work for me because the girl would be way too old.
I'm going to do my own math right now. I'm not going to give
I don't
the
think
numbers.
dating somebody older than you is a big deal.
I will agree with you. I think bringing out that kind of thing is the same as saying black people shouldn't date white people, or you know what I mean. It's the same exact gimmick.
Well, the thing is, we've agreed on an age of consent.
Yes,
we've agreed that this is
14,
the age.
right? Isn't that
no?
Some states.
I do my own math too.
I'm going to see. All right, so the math that I have right now.
Yeah.
I do not. That is way too young.
Well,
here's personally, just by taste.
No. Well, first of all, that's 15, and yes, you'll be locked up if you do your half plus 7. But the thing is, do you think it's different? Like, younger boys are not the same as young ladies,
yes.
Right? So, let's say a 21-year-old boy is going to be way dumber than a 21-year-old girl.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And see, I think women care how intelligent their partner is. Men, not so much.
Yeah, it's not. Normally, this is a generalization, but it's not. Doesn't seem to be the first thing you guys think of.
There was always a thing too with college girls would be interested in their professors for what they could also learn through that relationship, where a college boy dating a professor would just want to be like, hey, I'm hammering this older chick. It's really great.
Right. That's like part of it. Part of it is their intellect, their position of power in this like circumstance, like a college professor is.
So we're saying instead of a half plus 7, doesn't a quarter plus 5 make more sense for everybody? Isn't it a
quarter
more
plus 5?
I'm down with it.
What would
That's
if you were
much
a quarter
younger.
plus 5? What would you be dating, Chris?
Hold on, I gotta do the math.
Yes, same here.
Why is it so hard for you to do math in your head? I could have Mitchell sitting here just going off numbers. I could bring that down.
So a quarter plus 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd have to date a 10-year-old.
Yes, in your case that would work out, but it would be a big 10-year-old, like a big.
But then I'd go to jail.
Not to keep their mouth
in the
shut.
Midwest.
13 years old for me.
Okay, that is kind of what the tracks.
That is your type.
No, it's not my type.
But don't you
give you
think
that.
pointing out everybody's ages of this is no different than if you pointed out their skin color, their religion, or their weight?
Yeah, I think that you have to. I think you have to kind of let people do what they're going to do when you're talking about it's a legal situation.
Right.
They're consenting adults. I think part of what does actually make people point them out in particular is because they're very petite and they look very young.
Right.
So that's in a way judging them. They're like, you're a little baby because you're
there's-
small.
and that's
you know
still
what I mean?
ageism.
Right.
That's still ageism when you're acting like adults aren't adults because you think that they look young.
Mm-hmm. I often have to explain to people that height has nothing to do with age. So this is something that's very confusing.
You'll
for
grow.
people.
Don't worry. You'll grow. All right. Vito, for you, have you ever dated an older woman?
I've only dated women older than me.
And the reason is because you can't find anybody your size? What's that?
No, well, I mean, but it's mainly just because I don't like, I really don't like women my age.
Wait, how old are you, Vito?
I'm 23 and 3/4.
Now, he's an old-looking 23. If you don't know, the fact that he's out in
That's why.
3/4 is how much of a baby he is. But let's be honest. When James Dean was your age, he died, right? So this could be it for you. I mean, I can't imagine that heart of yours is going to last too long.
I was told by a football coach I had till 30, so.
That is really stretching it. I'll take the under on that any day.
Tell Mitchell to put some money down.
I put, there's 4-1 odds to pick up Trump. Locked it in. Now I'm back to pick up a 380.
And
I got to pay the VIG. Would have been 400. I'm paying the VIG.
Age also, I mean, of course, like, you know, if it's in the case of a woman, oftentimes they're saying, well, they're at a more advanced maturity level and women mature. But some people just like, that's just a physical attraction for them too. Like I've always liked a silver fox. It's kind of my thing.
Both of you do?
Yeah.
That's called daddy issues. That's called daddy issues. Means that you must have a very impressive father. That's what I think.
do.
See?
I love my dad.
That's exactly what happens. Vito, did our posters come in?
Yes.
Well, what are they doing over there? Why aren't they in here where we can see them?
Show them off. You know, come
Why
on.
would we care if they were in the other room?
He's ringing them around.
Yeah, everybody's going to get a nice little sign thing here from that we'll be handing out. I feel like they're like little collectibles.
Oh, definitely. Careful opening them, Vito.
Yeah.
Don't have my knife on.
You're not big enough to have a knife, Vito. That's it. Open them with your teeth. I'd rather see you bite your teeth through there.
Careful.
Oh, God.
Vito, don't
It
rip
looks like this
anything.
box is outsmarting him right
I know.
No,
he's
he got
dumber
it.
than he's dumber than a box.
He got it.
Careful, Vito.
Oh, my God. Don't hurt them.
Vito, they're precious.
There you go. You tearing.
Oh. Careful.
Careful, Vito. You're bad at stuff. Careful.
This is the end.
Take your time with it. Enjoy.
Yeah, take your time.
He's sitting down.
Yeah.
He's out of
Smart.
breath, is why.
He's blown up.
I don't blame him. He's been through a lot.
It's a rough day.
Could you take longer to do that, Vito? God damn it, there are our posters.
Vito, hurry.
Oh my God, Vito.
Oh, my God. Yay.
Yeah, let's see him. Take one out, Vito.
Crack one open. Oh shit!
Don't grab it like that.
So cute.
That's our Thanksgiving poster.
Wow, that's awesome.
Whoa, it looks
Look,
so
everybody.
great.
Very nice.
That's great.
I love it.
Why are you bringing them all out,
I
Vito?
think
Come on,
enough.
stop
It's
it.
too many, Vito.
So we're going to do a quick sign on these after, and then give them out to everybody who's come to Thanksgiving. But these look nice.
They're very nice.
Man, that is so
I wish we
cool.
would have done the Sirius XM in gold, though.
That'd have been cooler.
What happened?
The branding team says all Sirius XM signs have to be in white.
Really?
That's what they. That's what we learned when getting the poster made.
Oh. Anyway. It still looks nice. But I think Sirius XM would look cooler if it was part of the poster
Yeah.
and not on the other side.
Working against us.
That's okay. What do we care, right?
This
What do
is
we care?
awesome. This design is so fantastic.
Yeah, let me see who did the design. Because I want him to do a Trump cuck with Chris. Chris is the new Trump cuck, and he got on TV.
I'm a Trump cuck.
Oh.
It's a good thing, Nina.
No.
It's positive.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very positive.
Okay.
Are you a Trump fan?
Absolutely not.
Really? Not looking forward to the Trump presidency?
No, I'm not trying to
Weird.
get deported or sent to a camp or screened or put in a database or all of the above.
Were you born in Jersey?
Yes, I was.
All right, so you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but still the stigma of all his fans looking at me like I'm an alien.
Do you ever feel that way?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Sadly. Not all the time, and it depends where I am.
Right.
Like, I've gotten stupid comments here and there, like, go back to where you came from, or...
Jersey? That's what you say. Should I go back to Jersey?
I'm
on my way right now.
Like, one time, it was actually on 9/11, I was walking to work, and some guy goes, go back to Iraq. And I was like, well, I've never been there, so why would I go back there? I don't know what you're talking about. And he kind of just, like, shook his shoulders and walked away.
Where are your people from?
My family's from Palestine.
Oh. So, completely different situation.
Yeah. Very far from Iraq.
Yes. In peaceful Palestine.
Yeah.
Actually, very beautiful place, though,
Yes,
right?
very.
Now, that's the thing that always stuns people in America.
They think it's like this crazy war zone,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, it's actually a very, very beautiful country.
Well, I'll tell you right now, New York feels like a crazy war zone. I walked past the Trump Tower today, and it had a very post 9/11 feeling. Like there was so much security, and there was just people gawking at the building instead of just. It was very weird.
Yeah, there's so much of that sentiment that is similar, and not to even compare Trump as president-elect to 9/11, but it certainly is mirroring a sentiment or a feel in the city that was the Bush era feeling. Like it feels the same, and it feels.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a whole new vibe.
But I'm saying like it's starting to but I'm saying that's where the connection to 9/11. It's like both of those things happening at once,
right?
And then we're adding just like this new level of intensity. I don't know where it's going to go.
I think you got to let it play out.
Well, we don't have any other choice. You know, we're on this course. This is where we're going, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see who rises to the occasion on either side. We'll
Trump
have to
cuck.
see. Yeah, if
I'm gonna
it's
rise.
Trump
I
cuck.
always
Why
rise.
can't you bring everybody together?
Reign
into
supreme.
Trump cuck?
I'm trying to. I mean, I got a great TV appearance. I thought that was a really pull people together.
All right, show your appearance that went international. This is Chris on Fox News.
Oh, God.
Are you surprised at all? Are you shocked? Or did you know that he was going to win?
This is what should have happened. This is what we deserve. This is what America deserves. That chanting.
So that is a way to take it as you feel about it.
Why can't people rally around that? That's some great stuff.
You know, I'm trying to think of what was the name of that movie that was about Palestine and Israel?
Oh,
Omar?
with
No.
Julian Schnabel.
Julian Schnabel, and he was dating this girl at the time from Palestine, and she came in to do the show with him. And she was literally, I believe, the most beautiful woman I've ever met. And I've met some incredibly beautiful women, and I don't think they're together anymore.
Moral.
What's her name?
Yeah.
But that's the name of the movie?
That's the name of the film, yeah.
This is a stunning movie. And yeah, you got to watch it because that's when I found out just how gorgeous that part of the world is. It's, look, they're still putting up polls as if they matter.
Is it just California left, or?
Yeah, I
think they
I
haven't
lost track of what was going on.
I think that they haven't given a final tally from California at this.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Point. Yeah, I think that what the question there was just like if how much at this point will she have won the popular vote is really the
people aren't even that upset about it this time. The popular vote, they're just like, it's something that happens. Sure, the majority don't get what they want. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. 'Cause it's happened before. A guy called this the other day, and I'm like, I don't know how it works out. You know what I mean? I know we've had the Electoral College forever.
Yeah.
And people act like every couple of years they want to change it. Our intern wants to get in a battle against the Sam and Jim show, or the Jim and Sam show, right?
Yeah.
And he believes he's what? The best?
He knows more about Seinfeld trivia than anyone alive. He feels he's the...
And they have Travis.
And they have Travis who also
Now,
is a Seinfeld
everybody
trivia guy.
from that show tells me that Travis is the best at Seinfeld trivia that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Nina, have you met Marcus? Or?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What do you think of him?
He seems like a very nice guy.
Do you feel like a nice guy, Marcus?
I can be.
I need you, right? If you do this trivia, I want you to come in like Muhammad Ali. I want you brash. I want you bold. I want you moving. You know, I want you to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
I have that in me. I'm on it.
Because
I'm confident. I'm cool. I'm collected.
They think that they have the best Seinfeld trivia person in the world.
They don't.
Because
I am the greatest.
Because he's what? You're saying he's what then?
He's the worst.
Okay, I like the attitude. I like where he's going with it.
I don't even know the guy, but he doesn't have a chance.
You don't know Travis at all.
I've seen him around.
And what do you think of him? What do you think of him?
He's fine. He's not.
Fine isn't what we're looking for. I need you to be bold and brash.
In order to be a Seinfeld trivia genius, you need to be a nebbish. You know, sort of a wreck half the time.
And that's you?
I can be.
You see yourself as the George of this?
Yeah. In fact, well, I got a George, half Kramer thing going on, I believe.
Okay, George Kramer.
Right.
That's who he is.
Maybe a little Elaine.
All right.
I think I'm a double Elaine.
Here's the thing. We can't let them know how good you are. They've been claiming for years.
Yeah,
and
for
they've
a
been
long
mocking us that Travis is the best.
Yeah, in the hallways.
Has he ever even competed in Seinfeld trivia?
He has not.
He doesn't have a chance. I do it all the time.
He has not. And you feel... Now, what are you willing to put up in this bet? We can't bet money.
We can't bet money?
No.
You see these locks on top of my head?
Yeah.
This Jufro, if you must.
Yes.
George used to have hair like this, and then he started to lose it.
Right.
I will risk these locks and style them into the manner of Mr. Costanza.
Wow. You
So
will
you go from
Costanza
wide-
ahead.
I'll mimic male pattern baldness.
Now, we did this once with Eastside Dave, and it was really, really exciting. I don't know why he had to shave his head like that, but it was very, very fun. It was a very fun thing.
Did he lose a bet?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he just likes to prove that he could do stuff. He was our Kramer for quite a number of years. So I'm
familiar with him. I've heard him before.
You will take on Travis. And look, I'll just say it to Sam. This is the first big move since your coup, buddy. You now are being challenged. Your show is being challenged. You're calling them what?
In terms of Seinfeld trivia, they're bums.
All right, they're bums.
Exactly.
Wow,
They're
almost
bums.
Yeah.
And do they drink bum wine?
What, Mad Dog 2020?
Whatever it is. Do they drink bum wine?
Probably.
All right, so they drink bum wine, and they're a bunch of bums.
They're piss
and
drunk.
and they're panhandling, right?
Absolutely.
They're panhandling.
Because they're broke.
You're not even supposed to do that on the train.
So what would you call Sam himself? Would you go so far as to say bitch, or are you going to pull back from that?
Yeah, I mean, his
demeanor?
Yeah.
His demeanor is bitch-like.
Wow, that's bold.
Okay, that is bold. Good.
Because it's not only is his guy, his guy's a bum.
Yeah.
He's a bitch. I mean, that's
they're bums and bitches. Yeah, bitch
Yeah.
bums.
Holy
they're
shit.
bitch bums. They're
Double
bitches
B.
who bum off people.
Remember the guy who pulled the rickshaw?
I've never seen the Seinfeld show, so is it good?
It's fantastic.
Okay.
There's a guy who pulls a rickshaw.
Yeah.
Whose name is Rusty.
Right.
Actually, there's two. One of them's a horse. And one of them's what some people call bums.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the type of person I'm going against. Someone who's
See, the thing is, I don't think that you're dynamic enough, but that's just me. I think that you're really coming in lukewarm here when you want to come in hot. But look, I am saying this, and anybody who listens to the show knows that this is the first big challenge they've had as a morning show.
Yeah.
I see them backing out. I see Travis of taking a look at this kid and saying, I want no part of it.
That's right.
He's willing
He
to
doesn't have a
shave his
chance.
head like George.
I'm willing to, but it's not going to happen. I won't have to.
I know that. I understand that. I'm on your side, Marcus.
Let's put that up right now.
Put it up, and we'll see when they respond. We'll do this trivia contest during their show with a shave job, during our show with a shave job. We don't care.
Doesn't matter to me. I'll get up early.
In front of an audience or no audience at all. Doesn't
Either
matter.
or.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Either or. There'll be an audience anyway.
Because
it's going out
they're
over
what?
the radio.
What
The
a-
bums, horses.
Yeah, they're bums.
Cucks.
They're bums, horses, and
Oh my God, the cook!
Oh no!
bums and horses and cucks.
Oh my!
Bums
and horses and cucks.
Oh my!
All right. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've got it. But the challenge is there.
I don't know why you're doubting me. I came up for the Comedy 101. I came through. Big time.
I don't know. I don't think that worked so well.
Hey, man, it's a tough gig.
I understand, but I wouldn't bring up one of your failures. I would
That
try
was
to
not
move
a
ahead.
failure. It had been a long time since I'd done that.
By the term of the people who were there and part of the show, it was. Don't bring it up. Look ahead.
Seinfeld.
You're the Seinfeld guy, right?
This is your thing.
Your time.
All right, let me give you a
That's
Seinfeld
our time. Because this
let's-
is for all of us.
Right. Now, let me give you a Seinfeld trivia question, right?
Hit me.
There is a mailman who comes onto the show, and Jerry doesn't like him very much. What is his name?
Newman.
Oh, he's good.
He is good.
Good.
He is good, this one.
Do you remember what his FedEx
no,
equivalent was named?
You don't get it. Save
No
it. That might
showboat.
be one of the questions.
Save it.
Come on.
That was it.
I'm floating like a butterfly.
No,
over
no,
here.
no, no.
All right,
Keep it,
all right.
You know, keep it low. All right. This isn't the contest yet.
Thick hair in the stripe.
The
Yeah.
contest. You just said the contest. That's a famous episode of Seinfeld.
All right.
See?
That's good.
Showboat,
That's
dude.
good. The contest is a.
I feel good about
No,
this.
I'm getting some spy reports that Travis is trying to move to Canada during this.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, that's just because Trump was elected.
Okay.
I didn't know he didn't like Trump.
Neither did I.
I didn't know he didn't like Trump.
Seems
Every
so Trumpy.
sentence makes me think of a Seinfeld moment.
Well, don't think of any.
I'm trying to stay focused.
Clear your mind.
He just thinks in terms of Seinfeld. It's weird.
All right, Seinfeld's first name. What was it?
Jerome.
All right, that's good.
Whoa.
He's good.
That's full name.
Yeah.
That was a trick.
All right, Elaine's last name.
Bennis.
All right, she's good.
Ooh.
How could
He is good.
Travis doesn't have a shot?
He doesn't know Bennis.
I wonder if are the level of questions going to be at about this level?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then he definitely doesn't have a chance.
Unless you know the answers too.
Yeah, and then it'll
Then
be a
it's gonna
tie.
You mean
You
the bum?
both
The
shave your
bum
head.
doesn't have a chance?
The
No,
horse
he's the
bum?
horse.
Rusty. We'll call him Rusty.
Okay. all right.
Horse bum.
Booze hound.
You better put that booze down. Is it okay if we throw in some mad about you questions?
Now, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
In the Seinfeld universe, Mad About You is actually connected to it.
Yeah, I know. Lighten up.
All right. I'm ready to go.
Come on.
Lighten up.
See, I don't know if you were just throwing in a random New York sitcom.
No. I wouldn't do that.
All right.
I would never do that. Keep it cool.
Easy.
All right.
Keep it cool.
Easy.
I'm amped up.
You know what is great?
You're juiced.
We've got a Jew and a Palestinian today, and there's been nothing but peace the whole time.
That's beautiful. Oh,
Nothing
this
but
is
peace.
really sweet.
And now we're holding
Who cares? We're all people here.
Thank you.
Aw.
Except Rusty the horse.
Is that Travis?
Oh, snap.
Whatever his name is.
All right,
Oh, doesn't
good.
even care what his name is.
So you have no respect for him at all.
We'll see what he can do. I mean,
Oh, boy.
until he proves it, why should I?
Yeah, that's true. He's got to prove it,
That's
doesn't
good.
he?
That's good.
I know Sam has always bragged about Travis and when I mean I've never seen it myself.
Neither have I.
I know E-Rock told me that Travis is very good with it.
Yeah, that's been the word around town for years now that Travis knows everything about Seinfeld, and then our guy Marcus Hook is ready to just call him like it's a horse, but drinks too much.
And gets cucked out.
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie B. I want to remind you the last time somebody from your show went up against the morning show, they got their ass whooped when Fez lost to Sam in the wrestling contest.
Not only, well, first of all, don't act like they wrestled.
Yeah, I was
but,
surprised by that.
There was Fez was supposed to do the Seinfeld question. They were going to go eyebrow for eyebrow, right? And he was going to do the contest. And then Fez had another one of his alleged heart attacks. I don't know whether it was an actual heart attack or whether he just faked the heart attack not to lose his eyebrows. I think he had shaved his eyebrows before. None of that ever bothered him.
Yeah.
He shaved his head and eyebrows?
Anytime he'd shave his head, he'd shave the eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know where his hairline started.
Yeah, it was confusing.
So you got to win this.
It's all good. I'm fully confident.
You got to beat Rusty the horse.
I'm going to train just to make sure my stamina's up, but I don't have to.
Are you just gonna binge watch the entire series?
No. There's things I can do.
I'm gonna give you another question. See if you can get it. What network was Seinfeld on?
The National Broadcasting Corporation.
Wow.
Shit, I feel good about this.
Yeah.
Then again, I felt good about Hillary, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't been on a lucky streak.
I mean,
I remember when you told me Cleveland Indians were on their way.
Yeah.
Look out for Golden State Warriors. And you said, don't worry, David Bowie will always be alive.
I did say that.
Oh, Gail.
Did all of our problems start with Lou Reed dying even before 2016?
I don't know. It's just like,
I don't know when our
it's been a
problems
really
started.
brutal year. What month was Bowie?
February?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Who else is here? Just trying to think.
Who else was here?
Who else died this year?
Oh, don't look.
No,
if you
Seinfeld, dude. Seinfeld.
All right, sorry.
You focus on Seinfeld.
Don't worry
I
about
want
that.
you being Earth trivia. That's
No.
crazy.
One thing.
No one from Seinfeld died, so I guess I didn't hear about it. I'm just thinking that.
Okay. Keep thinking like that.
You have got to become our unlikable champion. That's your job for us. The unlikable champion.
Like Larry Holmes?
Yeah, okay. You're the Larry Holmes of Seinfeld. You're just jabbing.
Got it.
And jabbering.
Or like
At all
Bob
times.
Backlund.
Yeah, you're the Bob Backlund of
That's
this group.
you.
And yeah, when you get an answer right, point at your brain at the audience right there. Right there, booing. Just point at your brain. Coming up in just a little bit, it's a Bert Kreischer Unmasked, and you can win a Bert Kreischer sign poster. Our Unmasked poster. Just follow him on Twitter. Be a first responder. Look how beautiful that
That's
is.
a beautiful
That's a good-looking
poster.
man. That's a bear.
That's a nice beard.
Yeah,
It's a
it
great
is.
beard, a great amount of body hair. He looks.
He's got
he
everything a
looks
man
excellent.
could want.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the last real man, Bert Kreischer.
He's no cuck.
One of the most. No one said he was, Chris.
He's the man. I love Bert
thinks-
Kreischer.
Although he might be willing to try. Everybody might want to give it a chance. I mean, these are the Trump years.
Trump cuck. Trump cuck it up.
He'd definitely be happy to cuck someone else.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I already. I got a thing from Trump sent to me today. Did I want to be his Secretary of Transportation?
Oh shit!
And I don't want to be. I don't know what to do with that.
Why?
You know what I mean? What am I going to do? Is it say drive your car safely? I don't know what you do in that job. I'd rather keep doing radio. You know? I mean, I
Think about
appreciate it.
Do you have to answer him now, or can he just take the weekend?
Take the weekend for yourself. Leave him wanting more, you know? Also, could I plug something? Because Vito and I were on Eric Nagel's show this week
Whoa!
to promote Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Do you know how long I've been trying to get on that show and I can't do it?
He was like, Chris, Vito, you guys have to come on. I need to talk Big Brother with you. So, I mean, it's available on demand right now. It's Eric Nagel is the show. We're on in the first break. So, listen, you go to It's Eric Nagel. You listen on demand.
All right, things are happening for
That
Big
is
Brother and the
great.
Holding
That's
Company.
huge. And after your big booking,
And then apparently Natalie reached out to Vito about about her appearance as well.
What'd she say?
She said her fans really liked our questions and they really enjoyed the interview. And then she said, I can't wait for season 19 to start when I'm watching really intensely. I want to be back on.
Wow, that's
she
fantastic.
tweeted it out. She tweeted out the episode.
Sweet. Did we tweet it out? The Bennington Show tweeted out?
We tweeted out as well, yes.
I did.
Mm. Did Trump Cuck tweet it out?
I don't believe Trump. I'm not sure if Trump tweeted it out yet. I would love to.
Ryan in New Jersey. Ryan.
How's it going, guys?
Hey.
I just want to test Marcus's judgment here. So if let's say he's a 10 in Seinfeld, what does he think he is in comedy? Because I saw that and it was terrible.
Well, this
11.
Okay. This long pause got to be. But I got to tell you.
11.
This is that night when you wouldn't stop for the bell and you just let the bells go on and you're still doing your bad material.
I was instructed to keep going.
No. You were to stop. And listen.
Once you said that to me, I did.
Yeah.
But I was instructed by others to keep going, to fight through it.
What you're supposed to do is what they were saying was to not try to get into a
back and forth with them.
Yeah, we got to do a better We got to do a better job with backstage this time.
Yeah,
I mean, if he was that confused,
it was fun back there. I'll tell you that. But I guess the message,
that
didn't quite get to me.
Yeah, that doesn't matter whether it was fun or not. I don't care whether you had fun.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like to have the audience have fun on stage. Nina, I hope this is just the first time that you stop by and hang out
Yeah,
with us.
please come back.
I'd love to.
First of all, the
anytime.
fact that this show personally fixed the Israel-Palestine thing. I
This is
love
beautiful.
it.
Let's Baruch Hashem and Allah Akbar. Let's say that.
Yes.
What's Baruch Hashem mean?
Same thing as Allah Akbar. Bless God.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah, we just say bless God.
Yeah,
where I
that's-
am.
Can we throw one in there too?
Oh, our God has to bless us. We don't bless him. We just thank him for our food. Amen. Bert Kreischer coming up now. Are we coming back after the break, or what are we doing, Chris?
We're going to break and go into the Unmasked.
All right, so it's the Unmasked. This is really, really funny. Unmasked. And wait, hold on. Sam is on Twitter listening to the Bennington show. This intern needs to be reminded of the last time my camp played trivia with them. They did win. You are carrying our honor into this. And go ahead, come in hot.
I believe in myself, and I believe in this program, and I am ready to represent it.
Now, I want you to say some bad stuff about them.
They suck. They're going to lose. The last time was a fluke.
I like where he's going.
Yeah.
All right. I like where he's going. You're very blunt.
Makes me feel confident
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
And do you think Travis is good at Seinfeld trivia?
Probably not. I don't know anything about the guy, but he can't compete with me.
He's bold. He is bold.
He really is.
And you're a hair versus hair match. You will go for male pattern balding. You'll shave it that much.
It's going to be like that someday anyway, probably. So let's see what it looks like.
All right.
Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, get it.
Nice.
Gander into the future. Did you tell your girlfriend about this?
Yes, I've mentioned it.
Okay, good.
She's excited.
Good.
Oh, she's excited. Cool.
She's excited to watch me win.
Bert Kreischer coming up next. It's Unmasked. First responders, you have your opportunity to win that beautiful Bert Kreischer poster. I understand it's going to be a collector's item. I understand that he doesn't sign unmasked posters. He's never done it before.
Wow.
Never.
This is, I believe, one of two.
One of two.
Yeah. The other one will be set up in my man cave, as Bert calls it.
Nice.
He's always talking
Yeah.
about the man
He
cave.
does. He does like mention the man cave.
So, Bert Kreischer, be a first responder. Your chance to win this collectible unmasked poster. Nina, so great to
Thank
see
you,
you.
Nina.
Thank you so much for being in. That was a lot of fun today.
Thank you guys for having
We're
me.
going to see you back in here again. And we'll be right back with Unmasked. This is Bennington.
Oh,
Bert, welcome.
I'm gonna get emotional, Ron.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Just go ahead and go. Let yourself go.
You know this is like a big deal for me.
Is that right?
100%. Look, there are people from Tampa in this room who are geeked out as much as I am because we grew up listening to you. You defined our comedic sensibility just as much as Bill Murray, as Rodney Dangerfield. You were the guy that we listened to driving to school if our parents were cool, if our uncles got a DUI or whatever. And
I'm the DUI guy? That's my...
That was your demographic.
Yeah, actually, it's not too far off. That was one ugly demographic I had. But that's actually very cool, and I hear that from people from Florida from time to time because that was well. Let me just say, from the average listener that had there, you went too far with it. You know what I mean? Like you like everyone's like, "Oh, Bert, isn't he crazy?" I'm like, "That's every gig I ever did in my life in Florida." It's really it. It's really it. But you know, I'm honored as well that you came here today and you left your shirt on. So let's hear it for him, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. That's Florida for you right there. That's Florida's take your shirt off. You remember those Bucks games where they're like, all right, we're going to make a law that your shirt has to be on in them.
Yeah.
That's Florida.
Here was always the worst thing at a Bucks game, too. Everybody would have, all the men would have their shirts on. Then it would be that 15-minute rain back into heat.
Yeah.
So you're in a huge 80,000 people steam bath, and it stinks like dirt.
Oh.
And no one mentioned it. No one brought it up.
Aggressive BO.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about that area did you grow up there?
Grew up in Tampa.
Yeah. Is a lot of people, you know, of course, retire, go to Florida, but a lot of people just drop out early and go to Florida.
Yeah, that is the essence of the what we now know as a Florida man.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not even fucking around. Our dudes we went to high school with are now a Florida man.
Right. Yeah.
Like, there's a Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office site where you can find out the arrest records. All of my friends from high school are a Florida man. My uncles were a Florida man. And like, it's hard to get out of there without being a Florida man.
Yeah.
And you'll always have a Florida man in your head where you do stupid shit. Like attack someone with a weed whacker and you're like, what? I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, but that was like, I say this candidly. Growing up in Florida, you have a different sensibility. I remember we used to have this big scavenger hunt. It was one day at Jesuit where we all had to go to church for 2 hours on Friday. That's all we had to do. So Thursday night, we all got hammered and did a scavenger hunt. And everyone came back with this guy pulled a gun on me story. Fritz Casper's in the front seat. Blake Casper, who now owns all the McDonald's in Tampa's in the front seat going, pull the trigger, motherfucker! and we're on Bayshore. Taking a left on Bayshore. We're at that light and we're going to take a left on Bayshore. And Fritz is looking at him going, at the light, letting it turn red. And he's like, the guy's going to run out. He's going to jump in the car. He's going to run out. And as soon as the guy opens the door to run out, Fritz punches it. His car stalls. And he's like, oh, shit. And kicks it back in. The guy jumps on our car on Bayshore, gun in his hand, on the side of the car, swing at us. And I'm just thinking, that's childhood.
Yeah, right. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not even a story you could tell at Thanksgiving. It just happens all the time there.
Oh, everyone pulled a gun on. Everyone has guns.
Yeah.
And it was that. I think that explains your sensibility when you go back to Florida. You and your friends, and this is going to sound sullen, but either dead in rehab, clean, or just still fucking around and just getting their 5th DUI.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it, man. This was my loins. These are the loins I came out of.
Yes. You know what was always funny when I did radio down there and we go out and do gigs and you would shake hands with people, the amount of people missing a digit, it's unbelievable. Like every 3rd and 4th person is missing a finger. Yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same. I never was as comfortable as I was there. But you were a ball player too. You never bring that up much. You were a ball player when you were young.
Yeah, I played my whole life in Forest Hills, then went to Jesuit because of the baseball team. It was the first time humility ever hit me, was not making the team my freshman or sophomore year and playing JV and being like, God, but I was good. But everyone we played was so good. There's kids from Jesuit in here right now. Our pitcher was a guy named Brad Radke who went pro, and I was his catcher. And because I was his catcher, I got recruited too. And so I remember I got offers from the Citadel, from Duke, and then Coach Crumbly was like, if you go to Florida State, that you can walk on.
Right.
And I mean, I think any one of us, our goal was Florida State or Florida. That was it. It was Florida State or Florida. No one went to UCF or USF at the time. And I got into Florida State and I was like, that's it. I'm walking on the baseball team. Walked on my first day, met the coach. I remember he didn't even call me by my name, and he was like, yeah. He's like, hey, you're not the best guy out here, but you can go catch bullpen. And I was like, I remember thinking, and he's like, and you're going to quit your fraternity because the partying is not going to do anything for you. I remember thinking, I'm going to trade baseball for partying. I'm being dead serious. I was like, I'm much better at partying than I am baseball.
Yeah.
And who wants to blow out their knees catching bullpen for 4 years? And his son, Mike, whatever. I forget his name, but his son was the catcher. He went on to play for the Expos. But and I really regret this, but I left my bag and I walked out the left field gate and I went to Sally Hall and I got high. And I've never played baseball since.
By the way, this is the thing that you're laughing would be a sad story anywhere else, wouldn't it? Yeah. It would be like this would be like, oh my God, it's so sad, and everyone's just like, good.
I walked in, I had cleats on, and Mike, you remember this, but like Chili Willy, Paul, Chandler, we used to black out the rooms, and they'd poke holes in the thing so you could see. It looked like stars were in there, and we get high, and we call it time travel, and we just lay and just get high and stare at the stars, and it was like you were like, holy shit! And I walked in the room, they were doing that. I still had my baseball clothes on. I was like, give me a hit, I'm going with you guys. and we laid on our backs and time traveled.
Still had the uni on. That's the funniest shit.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're an adult, you're like, oh, the poor kid. But at the time, I would have cheered you on.
Oh, at the time, it just made so much sense. I was like, because I remember, and this will speak to my comedy. When I was a kid playing with Brad Radke, he pitched for the Twins. He arguably could have won a Cy Young Award one year. Watching him play when we were kids, our dads would go, just look at him. It's effortless. And it was. He did everything so great. And I remember my dad saying, like, when you find your thing like that, that's when you know what you'll have. And the first time I did stand-up comedy, I remember I called my dad and I said, I found my thing like Radke. He was like, well, then you got to go after it. But watching those guys play, it was always harder for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, first of all, the people, the kids in Florida, the baseballs at a high, like you could be driving down the road, pull over, buy some hot fish to some guys cooking on a fucking screen grill, and sit and watch high school kids and like, this is amazing.
Oh, it was hardcore. Our high school was like, baseball was the thing, and our football team was okay, but man, baseball. I played winter ball and summer ball. I played baseball all year round my whole life. And when I stopped, it was like this weird sense of mourning. Like I couldn't play intramural softball. It depressed me.
Sure, of course.
And I couldn't watch baseball. It depressed me. And I was like, it's just dead to me. And I just stopped altogether. But I've since sung like the things at the baseball games. I love baseball now.
Well, yeah, it's just as good. What you did. Now, when we're doing, by the time this plays, it'll be time for your special. But, before this, it's the series and then election, which once again is in Florida's hands. So,
dude,
give me your both predictions on World Series and the election, and we'll see if it comes true.
I think it's going to be Cubs and Hillary. It's got to be Cubs and Hillary. I was on my first TV show. My first TV show I was on. They were like talking about the election, and I kind of was embracing this meathead in me, and I was like, I'm not fucking voting. I'm not voting. Your vote doesn't count. Your vote doesn't count. Besides, I'm a write-in vote from Florida. Who's going to count that one? And it was the Bush election.
Yeah.
And literally, I could not look like a bigger ass. They're like, your actual vote might have fucking counted. I mean, like, just bold. My vote to rip my shirt off. My vote doesn't fucking count.
We'd actually have actual time travel now if you would have voted. Everything would have been different. That's funny, though, that you talk about that thing about being a natural, right? And for comedy, for you're one of those people that you didn't write material even when you walked up on stage the first time. You just walked up.
Yeah, the first time I did stand-up was at Potbelly's in Tallahassee. A radio show had heard... I'd been written up in Rolling Stone magazine as the #1 party animal in the country.
Again, that should be sad.
Yeah.
It really should be. He walked away in his uniform and got high. That should make us sad.
That's the beginning of the perfect movie.
It really is.
Everything responsible in my life, and I win. That's like a flip-flop scenario of the high school teacher who wants to go back into the pros and start pitching in the backyard.
Yeah.
So Rolling Stone discovered me and called me the #1 party animal in the country. And it was like a 6.5-page article. It changed my life. It really changed my life. And in the article, I said I wanted to be a comedian. So this radio station put on a live event. 4 comics. One comic who's he's not doing comedy as much, but he's out in L.A. His name's Christian Harloff. He actually gave me the best advice of my entire life that night. But I had no material. I just was like, I got a few ideas. I'll wing it. And it was sold out. It was packed. And right before I went on stage, I grabbed a beer. I grabbed a Natty Light, or I think it was a Natty Light. And Christian Harloff said, "Don't do that." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're already a party guy, but like, if you do this drunk, you're going to have to do it drunk the rest of your life." He said, "Do it sober. See if you like it sober. And if you can do it sober, then you can do that sober for the rest of your life. You don't want that in your life." And I put the beer down, and I didn't bring it on stage, and I did it stone sober. And I for what I could remember, I killed. I did really well.
Wait a minute, you were sober and had a blackout?
Yes. Yes. The first time. I call it gray out. The radio station offered me my own morning show, and they were like, they came up to me and they're like, we want you to do your own morning show. By the way, not because I was talented on stage, but I also was this #1 party animal in Rolling Stone magazine, and they said, you'll be third mic, and then this guy's going to leave in a month, and then it'll be your show. And I sat with a guy at Potbelly's in the far right corner of the table outside, and I said, so we're going to be working together? And he was like, yeah. He's like, for a month. And I was like, how cool is this? And he's like, And I was like, why would you leave? And he was like, who the fuck wants to live in Tallahassee? And it was like, I could see it like a beautiful mind just written right in front of me. Who the fuck wants to live in Tallahassee? I was like, me either, I guess.
The funny thing is, you just were there for 6 years for school.
6 or 7, really, but yeah. I was in college longer than grunge music was around. He shot himself in my second junior year. So I said, where are you going? And he said, New York. And I said, I'm going to New York. And this guy who now works at Kimmel had done this piece on me, and I taped that set. I sent it to him. He sent it to a guy named Jason Steinberg, who most comics know, and Jason Steinberg said, I think you're funny. Move to New York. I'll try to help you. And I called my dad and I said, I'm moving to New York. And so I moved to New York after that one set.
Well, that impulsiveness has always played a big part of your life, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Impulse. We actually, this is something I talk about in therapy. I am a man of impulse, like to a flaw. Biggest problem with me. I love when someone it's like 8 a.m. and someone just goes, you want to get drunk? And you're like, fuck yes. Like, I love that feel. I love the roll of the dice of like, hey, hey, I got edibles, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm being dead serious. When like my 21st birthday, I had anxiety because it was planned out. You're supposed to get drunk. It's expected of you. I don't like that. I can't do that. Like, even like eating shows, like I'll go in hungry, but I get there and I get like nervous and I can't eat. But the impulse of ordering 3 meals and sampling them like by yourself. I did that the other day at Bear Burger. I got like 3 burgers and then sampled them and took a picture of the healthy one and put it on Instagram. But I'm a man of impulse, and that's bit me in the ass because I've said yes to stuff that, like TV shows where I do dangerous shit, and I go, what the I've woken up full-blown panic attacks, throwing up in bathtubs, calling my wife going, I've made a lot of really bad decisions. I never made any decisions sober, and I just literally was like, I'll fucking do it. And that's the way I live my life. And I have had many, like, I could name easily 5 times I've been in a shower on my knees, praying to God, crying, going, why can't I just be like a regular person? But
well, real quick, do you think that God's in the shower? Is that why is that this? You know, they have churches.
It's the only place I pray. I only pray in the shower. I've always prayed in the shower.
God is going, what? I can't hear you.
God's like, why are you talking to me now? Closing his eyes. I know I made it, but what did you do to it?
So the shower is your prayer spot.
I'll pray tomorrow morning in the shower.
Yeah.
I will, because I'll fly. I always say, I do rituals. I wash my entire body. I leave the soap on. I crouch down like a catcher, and I say a prayer. And then I visualize myself getting to the place safely. And then I say a prayer for my family, and I go, we're fine.
Yeah. Do you wash the soap off? Or?
After that. But I have it all over my body. My body's got to be covered in soap. I'm a little obsessive compulsive, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Should note that out. A man of impulse with obsessive compulsive is not fun.
I just feel bad you weren't there to tell Buddy Holly how to keep the plane in the air. Scrub down, kneel like and say prayers.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
By the way, kneeling like a catcher is not in any religion in the world.
Drop down like someone's stealing second. Coming down. Oh,
I was telling you this before. You talk about being impulsive, but I watched you on Periscope for a long time, and they would just come up at the oddest times.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in a phenomenal, great mood, and other times you're just really down and on the road and missing home.
But that's the thing I don't understand. Like, okay, I like I've said this to you, but my favorite interview you've ever done was with that kid from National Treasure. It was real. It was so, if you don't know the interview, the kid comes in hot and he's being kind of a dick, and Ronnie just beats and says, no, fuck you, leave. We're not doing it. And the kid apologizes. He goes, I'm really sorry. I messed up. Can we start this over? And Ron's like, I don't know. It's the great, I can tell you where I was. When I listened to it, it is my favorite thing because it was real. I like real. Real respects real. And so I've always looked at social media as like, I do not get this propaganda-driven cult of personality that some of them take on. And my friends, and I'll name them, Dane, Kevin, Amy, they all have this thing where they can't show you their flaws sometimes because maybe people attack them. I don't know. So I've always had this thing like, fuck it, show them every part, even the scabby parts and the dirty parts. And I had one time where I was spiraling out of control, and I was like, fuck this, I'm fat as fuck, and I'm like losing my shit. And the two worst people in the world for me to watch it, Tom Segura and Ronnie B. I don't know. They're watching me spin. I'm like, look at this fat fucking stomach. These jeans are tight. My pubic hairs are stretching on my legs. I'm drinking a vodka, and I murder a vodka. And these two,
you just have these tiny airplane bottles all over your room
in my man cave. Yeah. And these two, and then I'm like, and then I have a normal life. Like 5 days later, they call me and they're like, we're worried about you. I was like, wait, you don't have those moments? And Sakura was like, I do. I don't share them with 9,000 people. It is completely I wish I could fix that in me, but it's part of the thing that I like taking big swings. I like big gulps. I like living large, and I'm vulnerable. And I cry on planes a lot, and that just happens. Just a movie will catch me wrong, and I'll have to throw the sunglasses on, or a song will come on like Bachman Turner Overdrive. You ain't seen nothing yet. Dun, dun. I'm like, fuck, that's right. I got a lot of life to live, and sunglasses are on. Double Jameson's down, and I'm like, we're gonna put on some Joe Walsh, Rocky Mountain Way. We got this.
I do have a theory that people are way more emotional on an airplane than anywhere else, man.
Dude, Walking Tall with The Rock. When he rips his shirt open, he goes, this will never happen to anyone else in this town. And he's got the scars. I am sobbing uncontrollably. And I was like, you, my man, made your way into my heart for the rest of my life. Yeah. Let's hope you parallel out of this wrestling thing and really keep making movies. I watch The Rock's Instagram all the time. Yeah. Before I go to CrossFit, I'll watch The Rock, and I'll just watch him work out. I'll be like, that's right, we can do this, Rock.
There's no doubt that one of you can. One of you has got it.
Yeah, one of us definitely does.
But this is the thing. There is something about you that everybody admires. Have some water. Everybody, you just killed the water real fast. Impulse.
Who makes these baby ones? What are we doing? Murder those.
But you go around treating the world as if they're friends first, right? I mean, look, it seems like everywhere you go, somebody would love to have a beer with the machine. Yeah. And unlike most people of your stature, you're willing to do it, it seems like.
It's a flaw.
Yeah.
It's a definite flaw.
Yeah.
It's I think it's an intimacy thing, but one of the biggest moments of my career, this is going to sound silly, but when I moved to New York, the guy that I was like, you could bring this guy with any of my friends, and my friends would think he's the funniest human being in the world, was Dave Attell. And I wanted more than anything to get drunk with Dave Attell. That was like, I'm talking, it went get drunk with Dave Attell, get a deal, get on Letterman, and so I got my opportunity. He was sick. We were in Miami. I just had Georgia, my oldest daughter. This was 12 years ago in June. And he was sick, and he just didn't feel like drinking the whole week. And then on Sunday night, he ponied up, and he was like, fuck it, let's do it. Tonight's your night, let's do it. And it meant so much to me that he took the time to compromise his antibiotics and go out with me. And he got swarmed. Like, I've never seen anything like this. The second we went out, everyone was around him. Everyone was buying him shots, and he's just passing them to me. He get two, Bert take one. And I felt like I was made of gold. It was my favorite night. I went home. I just had a kid, and I literally forgot to call home and be like, how's the baby? It was the most meaningful thing in my life,
Not the baby, drinking with Attell.
Drinking with David. I mean, I just met this baby. I had known Attell for 8 years.
Good point.
And the baby didn't talk. You've heard Dave. Yeah. He's funny. Like, and so in a weird way, like when I hear people say, like, dude, it's my dream to have a beer with a machine, I go, no, I know what that feels like. That's my biggest fault. I'm a fan first. I'm a comic second. Like, I'm a fan of podcasts, your radio show. I can tell you intimately shows you've done that I've listened to. One of my favorite Ron and Fez ever was I'm on La Cienega with my wife, and I go, oh, Ronnie B's on. You gotta love Ron and Fez. And I turn it on, and it's 15 seconds of silence. And then slowly you hear a man crying. And my wife looks at me and she goes, you like this? And then you hear Ron go, come on, Fezzy. And he's like, Ronnie! By the way, for us fans, that is radio fucking gold. You're not going anywhere. You're not getting out of your car. You're taking the long way home, and you hope there's traffic.
You know what? Funny though, we gave you so much of it that I don't know what gold was worth anymore.
But that's my problem. Is I'm a fan first, so I get it when someone says I want to do a shot with the machine. It's hard. I turn them down now, or I do Fireball. But I'll be like
compromise.
Yeah,
good.
Which I think is giving me diabetes. But I want to have that. I want them to feel like I'm accessible and you know, it's like I have friends who are like Segura is not that guy.
No,
he is not. He's like, no, I get off stage, I go to the green room, I go home, and I go to sleep. He's like, if I drink, I just by myself in my room. I'm not hanging with people. And I was like, yeah, but like, I don't know why did you get into it? Like, that's my theory. Doug Benson will get high with everyone. And then, you know, like, I like that. I don't know. It's like we were walking through a mall in Southern California one time, my whole family, and these kids saw me at a Dave & Buster's, and they're like, holy shit, it's a machine. And I was like, what's up? And they're like, dude, we got to do a shot with the machine. I was like, of course. So we go over. It's like noon. My kids want to go on the carousel. And I go over and I do a shot with them, and they're like, "This is the greatest day of our lives." And I was like, "Thank you for saying that." And then my wife's just sitting with my kids, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "It's my life."
Yeah, but that is your balance, right? You really are, because again, I see this from Periscope. You go home, you guys are in the pool, and you're running around, and they get who you are. You don't hide that aspect from them.
Not at all. I mean, and you know, for all the stories you hear about my drinking, I'm pretty even keeled at home. I often don't drink at home only because I've got to get up I go to CrossFit at 6 a.m. and then I go take the girls to school when I get home from CrossFit, and I like to get stuff done. I like to have an active day. I also like drinking. If drinking shows up, it'll happen, but it's not like I don't think it's as bad as people would imagine, and I am an okay dad. My wife's a much better mom than I am dad.
Sure, that's true across the board for everybody.
Yeah, like I'm, like if you, for the average person, you're like, that guy's phoning it in. But yeah, like I'm a pretty hands-on dad. I like being a dad. I like being a dad better than a husband.
Up to one point, it was so sweet, wasn't it? But you know, I respect you for saying that, because when a lot of guys will say they're nervous about being a dad, I'll just go, oh, you're going to be bad at it. You know what I mean? You're going to be bad. I don't know if the motherhood gene, like they have that gene, I don't know if the fatherhood is that natural to us. So
I'm on the road the whole first year of George's life. And Colin Quinn's Tough Crowd was my thing. I watched that. When I got home, Monday morning, my wife would sleep in. I'd sit with George, our youngest, and I'd watch Tough Crowd and the repeats of the Chappelle Show. It was perfect. I was on the road. I'd have coffee, and I felt like I wasn't. Oh, this is gonna sound fucking horrible. I felt like I wasn't connecting with Georgia, and it was kind of freaking me out. So I'm like, is it because I'm gone? Like the kid just doesn't get it. My wife says no, it's because I breastfeed her. So I was like, one morning, I'm like, I wonder if I can get her to latch on. So And this is an attempt to connect with my daughter, right?
Of course.
So I very casually offer the tit to her, and she goes for it, and I mean hooks in like a wrestling move, like it's jujitsu, just gong, and I can't get her off. You've got to pry them off with a fucking finger, and I'm going, help, help, and my wife comes in, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I wanted to connect with her. But I really honestly did not connect with my daughters until they were like 2, both of them. Both of them, I did not connect with them until they were 2. And I think now I have a really close relationship with both of them. But it is this weird, like, I disappear for weeks on end. And then you come home, and sometimes they say shit like, I feel like I don't have a dad. And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, what about that? Like, there's no way to rationalize. There's guys that go to Iraq for 2 years, and this is a job. This is what we do. I didn't see my dad all the time either. But then you just feel like, that's when I feel like, I'm like, you feel like a shitty dad sometimes.
But do you ever remind them that you took them to Dave & Buster's and then did fireballs with some whacked out kids?
I try to bring it up to them.
But that is true, right? That's the thing of you are away.
Yeah, you're away. I said to my dad one time, very recently, I said, I do feel like a shitty dad because of this. And he's like, no. This is what you picked to do. You picked to do this. This is what you do. That's it. There's nothing. You can't think about it in any other way. And he's like, listen, he's like, do you remember seeing me during the weeks? And I was like, and I don't really. I mean, my dad would go to work. He'd be at work before I went to school. I'd see him maybe. He was in a marathon. So on the weekends, he'd run 10 miles on Saturday. I'd have a catch with him. But I didn't really like hang out with my dad. But things have changed so much now that it's like, if you're not like a super hands-on dad, you're a shitty dad. And when you're a road comic, I remember Chris Hardwick said, why would you ever have kids if this is your life? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I had kids.
Points.
Yeah.
Points.
Deductibles, man. Come on.
But see, I totally get where your dad is coming from that, because I only remember my dad on his vacations more than anything else. But you know who spends more time is divorced dads. Like divorced dads will do anything to be around their kids.
Dude, Jason Ellis is divorced from his wife. I mean, not to call out Jason, but he's a friend of mine. I don't think he would matter. And I see him having the greatest time with his kids. And then when they're gone, they're with their mom, and he gets to live his life. And I went, damn it, man, divorce doesn't, if it didn't fuck the kid up, I might be into that.
I know this. I never saw my dad own a bumper car in his life, but divorced dads are like, what do you want to do this weekend?
Yeah, I got the kid.
Yeah.
I got the kid, but I sleep because I'm home for 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, divorced dads really murdered his dads.
Yeah.
And it was funny because that used to be the stereotype of bad dads, and now they're murdering it, and us regular dads just taking a bath in fucking misery. Yeah, I think that's the other thing, is that I'm a very regular. I get like, people do my podcast out of my man cave, and I'm saying 8 out of 10 comics will go, dude, it's so cool to see like a version of a comic that's a regular person, because like I am a regular, very regular. Like, my house it's expensive, but also only because it's in LA. But it's not like a mansion. I got 2 dogs, a rescue cat, and my kids are running around in my own merchandise shirts, and my wife's like a solid 7, you know. And so, I mean, she's getting older. She was a 9 when I met her, but like, she's no. But my wife knows I love her, and she's cool. Like, Stanhope came to my house to do a podcast. This is like,
By the way, you could lose your kids just for that happening.
Dude, this is one of the... And by the way, fan first, I've been reading Doug Stanhope's blog on his website since I started comedy. So when Doug says he wants to do my podcast, it's a big deal for me. I'm like, fuck yeah, I love... He's one of the greatest comic voices of our generation. He doesn't even call me. I just open my front door because I hear something, and he's sitting on one of my Adirondacks coming in hot. He had been doing coke with Marilyn Manson all night, and he had just gone to Bill Burr's house, and he didn't feel it went well, and he's just like, I could use a vodka. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Me and him start drinking. We drink for probably 4 hours straight. My kids come home, and they come out, and they're like, Doug, would you like to have dinner with us? And my wife's like, did you guys just invite Doug Stanhope to have dinner with us? And Doug's like, fucking definitely. So me, Doug Stanhope, my kids and my wife have dinner, and And I saw, we all see the party side of Doug, but you see the regular side of Doug, him fucking around with kids. And we've all got that. And it was like, for him, it was cool to be like, have a home cooked meal with a family. And when he got done, he was like, thank you for inviting me. That was so cool. And then we did another podcast, like 2 more hours of podcast, and just kept drinking and smoking cigars, and he's smoking cigarettes. And it was just great. And it was like, in that moment, we connected. Like, we really connected for friends forever. We'll always be friends because, I don't know, it was like this regular. And we both got that rode hard party, get down, it's late night, after hours club personality. But, it was, I don't know, it was a really neat moment to have in life. But yeah, I'm a regular dad. I'm a regular dude. I'm not like a celebrity or anything.
Well, you don't set yourself up for it. You don't treat yourself like you're one. You walk into places like you're ready to buy a ticket. It's kind of a rare thing because normally as soon as anyone gets any kind of VIP treatment, that's all they expect forever.
I went to Fleetwood's, a big restaurant in Maui, and like I just kept calling, going, "Hey, I'm famous. Can I get a good table?" And they're like, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "I'm famous. I'm on TV." Like, no, I don't think people on TV really do that.
No, I don't think Ted Danson ever pulls that.
But then we got there and they gave us a VIP place, and the guys that ran it was like, "Hey, I listened to your podcast," and they gave us like Mick Fleetwood's table, and we ate in the corner, and I was like, "Shit, they really think I'm fucking famous." And my wife's like, "I've been on TV for 7 years, like maybe you are."
Well, you got the special coming out, which you kind of even waited a while before.
Well, very candidly, I got caught up in Travel Channel for 7 years. I did a special in 2009, started working for Travel Channel when I was 36, and I'm turning 44. I've been there the whole time. And they book you so that you cannot, it's good because they're paying you, but they book you out for a year. I mean, you're booked. I was doing 2 shows at one time. And I never had the chance. I would just do stand up to get by, to keep fresh. And I never had the opportunity to do a special. And then finally I was like, I just told them, I was like, I need to take a break. I got to stop. I need to do this special. I'm a comic first. And I fell off a waterfall and fucked my back up. And when I posted it online, and all the comments, you'd think they would be like, get well soon or something. And they were like, hey man, we don't watch your stupid fucking show. Like, stop putting your life in danger. Just do comedy. That's all we fucking care about. Your podcast and comedy. Stop with the TV. Everyone. Bill Burr and Rogan said the same thing. They're like, hey man, we haven't really watched your show. We don't know if it's good, but you are a really good comic. You need to do an hour, and you need to focus on stand-up. And when you start hearing that enough, you're like, I need to be doing a special every 18 months. I need to be on the road. I can do TV, but it needs to be on comedy's terms, not the other way around. And so this special's been a long time coming, and I had this machine story that I feel like I had to tell. I feel like everyone knows it, but there's still millions of people that have never heard it, and so I felt like I wanted to get it out there because I also want to stop telling it.
That's the last time? The special is the last time?
No. Ronnie, if you know nothing about me, I can't let anybody down. Everyone's like, stop telling it. And one kid in the front's like, can you tell it one more time? When I was 22, I got involved with the Russian mafia.
But it's still a fun story for you to tell. You're holding court with that story because it's so insane.
It is. It starts to become a separate entity, and you almost don't even connect to it anymore. Like kids from my class. For those of you that don't know, I robbed a train full of my classmates in Russia with the Russian mafia.
I just feel like for those people that don't know, that was a spoiler.
Yeah. I'm the machine. And so kids from my class that I robbed will come to my shows, and they'll sit in the front row. And it's always like, because you know, when you tell a story as a comic, it's laughter first, facts second. But I've tried to stay very true to the facts in this story because there are people that were involved, and if I ever get called a liar in the story, it'll fucking destroy it. And so kids have come to my shows that I robbed, and I always bring them on stage with a shot of vodka, and I go, so fact check that. What part of that isn't real? And they're like, it's 100% true. And you just do a shot of vodka, and I'm always like, I fucking told you. It is one of the greatest. It's the greatest story that ever happened to me.
Yeah, well, it's and that's going to be a big part of the special.
I close on that.
But I watched you because you periscoped it, and I saw you backstage before your special. You looked as chill as possible. You had the stool that you had written.
Yeah, I wrote all my because you always want to have a set list when you're doing a special, just so you don't miss anything. And at least if you miss it, then you can go back and go, oh, let's cover that. And so I thought, instead of having a piece of paper, what I'll do is I'll buy a stool. Of course, I bought 4 stools, and then I wrote my hour special on the stool. I wrote it like real pretty. I took some time to do it, and then I had my daughters write me notes, and I wrote myself notes like remember your eyes, slow down, because I can rush through things. And so it was like a reminder, and I wrote it on 2 stools, and for each show I used a different stool for different sets. And then I was like, if the special gets really big, I'll auction them off to St. Jude's and say they can make money. And then I was like, fuck that, I'm going to keep them.
Yeah. Now, why do you write remember your eyes? Sometimes you forget your eyes?
Yeah, no. I have very expressive eyes, and I'm not like there's a couple jokes where like for instance, when I say I am the machine, I don't think that line's funny per se, but if I dart my eyes left, right, left, and then pop center, it gets a laugh. It sounds so silly, but just things you pick up in doing stand up, and then so like it's just, I'm not gonna do it because it won't, but I'm like whatever the fucking line is, I get to his door, and everything he said, I can feel myself doing it. I knock on his door, and I meet a guy, a real Russian guy, wife beater, tracksuit, tattoos, cigarettes, and he just stares me up and down and goes, "Shto," and I panic, and everything everything I plan on saying flooded out of my head, and all I said to him in his doorway was, "I am the machine." And like I go back and forth. It's like, so I got to pop my eyes, and if I pop my eyes, it gets a laugh. I don't know why. Another thing, when I go to the Korean school, like I do this thing where I go like this, like to point to them with my eyes, and it gets a big laugh. And so I don't ever want to bail on that in these jokes, but I don't want to be at eye heavy. So if I just see it every now and then, I go, "Oh, that's right. Throw your eyes in there."
I like the fact that you don't want to be too eye heavy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be known as one of those comedians. You were also working a documentary, and then I didn't hear much about it since. Is there a plan for it?
I don't know. It was a big mistake. I mean, I love those guys, and it was a really cool experience. I mean, the shit we got. I mean, we have Hannibal Buress in one of the rarest forms you'll ever see this man. Like, we're all in Amsterdam, and he's just, Wah! I mean, it is a badass documentary, but it happened at a time in my life that I was going through something with a friend, and the way they covered it would not look so good upon this friend, and I think they need money to make sure that there's no lawsuit from this friend, and who's not a friend anymore, and we said we were going to split it 3 ways, and then they wanted more money because they'd spent more money, and it just got really bad, and then I just was like, whatever. I was like, do whatever you want with it, and I don't know what's going on with it. I've talked to them about it, and I was like, because it's so good. I wanted to make a documentary about what it was like to be an unknown comic and what that experience was like, and the day we started was the day I told the machine story to Joe Rogan on his podcast, and it changed my life. I mean, it changed my life to the point where I remember our first date we did was Columbus, and people called into the radio station going, "The Machine!" And I went on stage, and the whole crowd was chanting The Machine, and I was like, podcasting had just blown up, and I was like, I guess I'm not an unknown comic. I just turned a corner. And so the documentary really is a person dealing with everything happening at the same time, and then all that happened, and me and a friend had a dispute that was aired live on podcasts, and that was all in it. And it was like all the things that happen to you when you start to get success, and all relationships falling apart, and me being on the road away from my kids because I'm all of a sudden Travel Channel's got me working everywhere. I've already got stand-up commitments, and it's a really fascinating documentary, but I don't know if it'll ever air. I hope it does.
All because of just business stuff, not just, any of the creative.
Just business. Ideas. I mean, the documentary is great. We screened it. People loved it. But I think you need to have some sort of insurance policy in case people want to sue you, because it's not. I mean, trust me, it's not an unsuable documentary. Like it's a litigious documentary. It's real. It's a documentary, and it's a documentary about a comic who lives out there and kind of lives big swings, and so. I think they wanted to cover themselves. I think also the split. I was like, whatever you guys want to make, I don't give a shit. It's not about the money. It's about this product that fans supported and paid for, and them getting to see it. I want them to see it. But and I also don't want to fuck up. I mean, the guy's Jay Moore. I don't want to fuck up his career. I don't want it to look bad on him. But it just happened that we were making this documentary when Jay and I stopped being friends, and it doesn't look good. I mean, it just doesn't look good for either of us. And so
is Jay in the documentary too?
He is not.
No,
he's not. But he is in spirit. He's definitely.
So you guys aren't buddies anymore?
I haven't talked to him in like 5 years, 6 years since that. Yeah.
Is it something you would like to do though?
No.
No.
I mean, I think if I wanted to do it, I'd do it. I don't have anything against him, and if I ran into him, I'd be cool. But that was a really tough period for me.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm very candidly, I started going to therapy because of it.
Of Jay?
Yeah, because he was a mentor to me. He was like my guy, and then it fell apart in like the ugliest fucking way, and I didn't do anything wrong, and I can say that I've been to enough therapy to say I didn't do anything wrong, and then you at a certain point you kind of have to go, well, if you're going to lose a friendship over something you didn't do, that you had nothing to do with, it was out of your control, then you need to let that go. And Barry has reached out to me and said you and Jay need to be friends again. And part of me says he seems very happy, and I am very happy. And the last time we spoke, we were not happy. So maybe we just need it to run its course, and we'll meet up again in another point in our lives. There was no repairing the friendship. I was on Travel Channel. I was only home for like 2 days a month, and so maybe, I don't know. I don't have anything against him, and I don't hate him, and I don't want anything bad to come his way. I have nothing but fond memories about our friendship. The guy took me on the road, and I learned how to do radio because of him. I learned so much about this business from him. He was a for the bad portions versus the good portions, the good always outweighed the bad. But I am a very different man than I was when we stopped being friends, and I don't know if candidly, if we could be friends, the man I am today, I never told him I drank. He was sober, and he didn't want me drinking, and I'm not going to stop fucking drinking. And like, you can be sober. You're the one with the problem, not me. But I didn't drink in front of him, and that was something that always bothered me. I never told him that I drank. He knew that I drank, but we just never talked about it. And it's like, that just is so fucking. I really regret that. There's a lot of shit I did wrong in this relationship. I'm not saying it's Jay's fault at all. There's a lot I did wrong, but that was, I'm a very different man today than I was when we stopped being friends. So, who knows?
Did I miss something? Are you and Jay gay for each other? What the hell did I miss? What the hell? What did I miss?
We watched a gay porn together one time. He bought it in my room as a joke, going, "Oh, this is going to be on your bill." And then we watched this dude suck another's dick, and neither of us could turn it off. We were like, "Fuck!"
And by turn it off, he means their erections.
Yeah. We turned it off when we got hard. But times like that, I fucking giggle of just how much fun we had.
Well, I don't really even know your beef, but I'm like shocked that you had to go to therapy because
it was a very public beef.
Yeah,
it was online, and so I got attacked from one side, I got praised from another, and it was just shitty. And it's like losing a friend is hard. Like when you lose a friend, that's like getting broken up with. And it wasn't like, hey, we should stop. It was like, you're a fucking piece of shit. You're a garbage. You'll have no friends. And like, it was bad. And then I was like, fuck. And so, yeah, therapy is not bad. It just helps you figure out your head.
I can't imagine your therapist going, explain to me again who Jay Moore is. And
my therapist, I told him, I said, you got to listen to these 2 podcasts. It sounds so fucking weird. Listening to there's a thing on Reddit. Read that. Check out this story. Because I was like, I need to know my fault in this because I couldn't see it. And I go, you need to do everything. You need to do the work like a fan, and I'll still pay you, but you need to tell me where I was wrong in here. And he like listen to Maron's podcast. I mean, and by the way, he's like all of a sudden he's like, I'm a fucking fan of Jay Moore. It's like he's like, that guy does amazing impressions.
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable.
And then at one point Joey Diaz called me. He's like, dog, fuck your therapist. We're having coffee every fucking morning. So I pulled out of therapy for a month and had Joey Diaz be my therapist. And I got in shape. I lost weight. I felt good about myself. I stopped drinking. I was like, Joe, you're fucking turning me around. Yeah, it was interesting.
You really are fucking impulsive, dude.
Oh, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah. So you're back in therapy now, though?
I'm always in therapy. I do it once a week.
And what kind of stuff are you talking about?
Working out bits.
Yeah. Is this funny? Is this funny?
Dude, I write down, if I say something funny, I write it down. Like, I'm fucking using it. I'm paying $300 an hour. I'm going to fucking use it. I don't even know what I pay an hour because my wife won't tell me because she said I'd stop going to therapy.
Right.
But it's great. I love it because, like a perfect example, we're talking about the ego, not ego, I don't mean ego bad, but like Kevin Hart and Amy and Dane have this thing about them where they're not fans first. They're business people first. They're artists first. It's them and they're on a fucking steamship. And I just could not wrap my head around how come I don't have that? Like, why am I always humbled? Or why can't I just be like, yo, what's up? It's the mogul Bert Kreischer. You know, I don't talk like that. I don't believe that way. And so I was talking to my therapist about it. He's like, "You're an artist, create." And then I came up with that Speedo campaign, and I was like, "Fuck, that's what I do, man. I don't fucking promote myself. I just make shit. I write jokes. I make TV. I have a sitcom coming that we're shooting, and I'm like, that's what I do. I let the work speak for. No, I'm not shitting on them. I'm saying for me, just create, and that's all I do, and I love it."
Now, the Speedo campaign, did that go anywhere?
No.
And you had your kids in the Speedo campaign.
I wish you had been there because I literally said to them, I go, guys, it's funnier if you don't fuck around. If you're in the back just being normal, that's the funniest. And to I did like 3 takes and they didn't screw around once. And it's so funny that I'm doing this presentation to Speedo and my kids are just literally playing in the back in the pool, just screwing around. Like, Dad does this all the time. I do wear Speedos all the time. That doesn't freak them out. But it went crazy. Like, it went viral immediately. I'd never had anything I've done do that. And then I was like, shit. And then I started looking at all my old videos and I was like, my vlog was fun. I was like, I have all the equipment. I have my own production studio in my man cave. I'll do this all I want. And then I was like, this is it. I'll focus on my podcast. I'll create TV shows that I want to do, and I'll do stand up. And I'm like, right now, my next hour is better than this hour. Like, I'm in love with the art form. I'm in love with this. I'm in love with the press. Doing Opiate yesterday, some of the best radio I've ever done. I love that shit. I love this. This is like my dream come true, is hanging out with you and talking about me. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if we're going to air this, but because I worry about lawsuits too. No, but this really is your job and what you do well. Just coming out and being, and there's something that's so interesting about you because you're so incredibly comfortable, and then you're so uncomfortable at the same time. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Gene Wilder had it, dude. That was the Gene Wilder thing, and even Woody Allen, where they could bring that to places.
Yeah, I had a meeting one time with the Donner Party that Richard Donner made.
Oh my God,
Goonies.
You want to call that's the Donner Party?
The Donner Party. Why would they call it the Donner Party? Jesus Christ! Why did I call it the fucking Donner Party?
That's something for your therapist.
That cannot be the name of their company. The Donner Party. Oh shit! Oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
When you said that, I'm like in a Westworld way. That you had a meeting with the Donner Party.
I had a meeting with the Donner. Yeah. I had a meeting with the Donner Group, and they said to me, they were like, we had heard like a bunch of your stories, and then another story, and I said, I didn't know that you knew that was my story, and they said, of course, the character's you. And I was like, wait, what's my character? And they're like, politely, you're like a regular guy that gets in over his head and isn't that bright, and all of a sudden you're like fucking overwhelmed and you're involved with the mafia, or and I'm like, oh shit, that is me. Like, and in my head I was like, I've gotten in over my head with impulse and being this comfortable, uncomfortable guy my whole freaking life. It's like with the mafia, robbing a train, I'm totally uncomfortable, but here I am robbing a train. That's what confident guys do, and it just is a weird. It is. I wish I knew what had happened to me as a child that created this, because I do it to my kids. I think I'm a fun guy. I want to hang out with them.
But your kids look like they're having a ball too. A lot of people, I mean, they've been in and out of comedy clubs their whole lives, right?
Yeah. When they were little girls, they'd come and they'd sit in the green room, and my wife would get them in their pajamas, and then at the end of the show, they'd run up on stage with me, and they've had the greatest comics in the world in and out of their backyard their whole child for the last 4 years, and they don't see it any different. Like they just kind of, they're. It's hard to make them laugh, but they're funny as shit. My youngest, Isla, is literally like, that kid is a walking bit. Like everything she does is a bit, and you're like, I'm literally like. My wife will call me, go, get your notebook. This happened today. And they're just interesting little different people because of that. I guess when you don't have like a conventional household and you got one dad who just, all he does is think of funny shit. That's all I do. That's my only job. When you become a comic, you change your brain. You literally say, I'm going to be different than everyone else. And everything's a joke. Everything. At my grandmother's funeral, I'm crying. And my dad says, hey, fucking stop it. And I go, what? And he's like, it's enough. We get it. And I'm like, what? I go, what? He's like, you're making a scene. And he's like, and I go, okay. And he's like, what are you crying about? And I go, are you joking? And he like stands me up, and him and my uncle pull me aside, and they're like, what are you crying so much about? Like, what's so sad? I go, my grandmother's dead. And they're like, yeah, we know that, but like, what about that is so sad? And in my head, I'm like, this has got to be a bit. At some point, I can't figure out, so I'm too close to it, but I go, she's laying in a box, like, and then like an idiot, I go, she doesn't look like herself. She was so happy. And my dad's like, are you fucking retarded? He goes, do you want her smiling in that box? And then I was like, yeah, that would be weird if she was like, hi. And they're like, hold it together. You're the head of this family. Hold it together. You crying, let everyone know they can cry. We don't want that. Hold it together, and at the end, we'll all cry. And I went, okay. So we had the funeral. The women grabbed all the flowers, and then my dad and my uncle grabbed me by the hand. They walked me up to the casket. This is like and they just start crying like men. Like, my mommy! And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'd rather you guys molest me in a closet than have this moment. But even at a funeral, I'm writing jokes. I'm like, and that's the way your brain is. And when you got that for a dad, there's no way that you're gonna not see everything in a comedic light. Everything.
Your dad comes up a lot in your stories. Always been close.
Yeah, we're really close. He does. I don't think. I mean, I think he likes me, but I make him very uncomfortable. Like, really uncomfortable. Like, I know he loves me. I know he's proud of me, but I know there are times where he's like, God, I wish you wouldn't fucking do that. Like, he picked me up from I do a Call in Sick to Work tour where I do morning radio, drink on radio, go right to the club at 1 or at noon. Everyone calls in sick to work, and they sell out everywhere. It's been probably the most successful thing I've ever done as a stand-up. And I did Tampa. I did my buddy, Cowhead, sure. Mike Calta. I did Mike Calta's show. I drank a lot of old fashions, and maybe miscalculated it by 3, and literally blacked out halfway into my set. Don't remember anything. Don't remember how I ended the show. I was told that I ended the show by going, I'm not telling a machine story. I'm done doing stand-up tonight. And I walked off. And then there are 100 pictures of me obliterated with fans and I'm sure I did probably 10 more shots after that. And my dad had to pick me up because I grew up in Tampa, and my dad's just standing there in golf shorts, penny loafers, no socks, and a collared shirt going, it's over, let's go, like, just really uncomfortable, like that's his son, that this is how his son makes 10 grand. It's just like the Elephant Man gets hammered. It's not 10, it's not 10, it's really 5, but and you can see it in his eyes. Like, he's the guy that he's like, maybe I'll have a glass of wine, and then when you have a glass of wine, he's like, you're drinking it too fast. Like, I called him up. This is one of my favorite stories about my dad. I called him up one morning. Sometimes I wake up at 4 a.m. with panic attacks because I have weird, crazy dreams. So I called my dad to talk to me. He goes, what are you doing awake? He's like, I thought you just slept till noon. I go, no, I had a bad dream. He's like, you still dream? And like real matter of fact, I go, yeah, of course I do. I go, you don't dream? He goes, no, I don't dream. I'm a man. He's like, what are you dreaming about? Ponies and shit? I was like, yeah, I have had pony dreams. I have a lot of pony dreams.
Yeah.
But
ponies and shit.
Ponies and shit. But that's my dad. He's like, he's a real man. I don't know. I'm very different. I'm a very different man than he is.
But he called you the head of the family, which is not a lot of dads will do that. That's pretty amazing.
Joey Diaz, this is a really interesting story. Joey Diaz slipped my dad marijuana Easter morning a couple years ago.
What do you mean he slipped it to him?
Gave him a bag of popcorn that my dad didn't know was marijuana. Okay. My dad takes 2 big handfuls, and then Joey's like, "You're seeing the devil's dick tonight, Mr. K." We're going deep, cocksucker. It's Easter morning. And I find this out. My sisters lose their shit. They're like, "Dad just ate edibles." And I'm like, "Holy shit." And I go, "What do I do?" And my little sister Cotty's like, "You got to go down there with him. Like, you eat edibles." And so I just go in and I eat edibles. And I go, "Dad, you ate marijuana?" And he's like, "No, but it's popcorn." And I was like, "No, that's marijuana." And he's like, "No." I go, "Yes. And you ate a lot." I was like, "This is going to get bad before it gets good." And we ended up doing a podcast. I was like, it was the only thing I thought natural was to do a podcast. We do a podcast, and then my dad's really fucking high, and me and him sit out, and we have like a Jameson's our drink. We have a Jameson and a cigar. A Padron 7000 is my favorite cigar. And my dad like opens up. He goes, "Can I tell you why you make me uncomfortable?" And I'm like, "I don't know if this is the conversation we should have right now." And he's like, "You remind me of my dad. Everyone likes you. You have a good time. You like to party, and you're always there for everyone. You're always smiling, and laughing." And my dad died when he was 42, and at the time I was turning 42. And he's like, and I just see this as a death sentence. I see you're going to die this way. And I said, "Well, I'm pretty healthy. Like I can run and I can lift weights and I take care of myself." And he goes, "That's not it. I'm just not comfortable with it." And I said, "What can I do to let you feel more comfortable with me?" And he goes, "I would like to get you a cardiologist that I approve. I would like you to get all the tests that I asked for to know that your heart's healthy." And so I said, "Fine." And so I went. He got me a cardiologist. I did a CT scan. I did a stress test. I did a full everything. And I had a very, 100% healthy heart, no blockage. And my dad was like, "Thanks." And I was like, "We should have been eating marijuana together long ago." And it was like a great moment where we got to share over marijuana. Thank God Joey Diaz slipped it to my dad, like Bill Cosby.
But the thing is, and I would tell your dad this, it's not going to be your heart. You're going to get shot to death. That's the way you're going out.
Dude, it's going to be a plane crash, shark attack. It's going to be something big.
No. It won't be a plane. It won't be a plane because you're down, all soaped up, in the catcher's position, taking care of things.
Saying my prayers. Oh, yeah. That's when I got my life insurance exam. My recent one, they said to me, they were like, "Do you smoke?" I said, "No." "Do you drink?" I said, "Seldomly." And they were like, go through the whole thing. And then I go, "You don't ask if I'm going to swim with sharks a lot or anything." And they're like, "Wait, do you?" I go, "Yeah." Like, I've been doing it once a month lately. And they're like, "Wait, hold on. You swim with fucking sharks?" And I was like, "Oh, why would I offer this up?" It's like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. Never mind." But yeah, it'll be something bizarre. When I die, you ever cut your finger cutting onions and then you go, "Motherfucker, just let me go back in time for 3 seconds so I don't cut my finger." That'll be me when I die. God damn it. I really fucked up. Let me go back 3 seconds.
Dude, you know what I love is that we're going to have this for after you die, and I'll be able to play it that night. And it'll be like, he knew. Bert knew.
My funeral is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's
a fun roll.
I'm telling you right now. There's not, and very luckily, there's not one thing I haven't done in my life that I want to do. I've lived out every bucket list adventure I could ever imagine on Travel Channel. I've spent 7 years vacationing 3 weeks a month for the past 7. I've done everything. Jumped out of planes, jumped off the buildings, swam with great white sharks out of the cage and in the cage. I've done everything you want to do. I've done more with this limited amount of skills and this little hair that I have that anyone, when I get to heaven, God's going to go, "Shut the fuck up. I didn't give you that much. How did you do it? Get out of here. You're not even smart. How did you did stand up? Are you kidding me? Shut up." Yeah, it's going to be a fun funeral. I just want everyone to cry and be drunk.
Well, we will, but at the end with your dad. No one's going to do anything.
My dad will be dead first.
I don't think so. Bye. Kreischer, everybody, the machine. Friday, November 11th at 10 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Ronnie,
I love you, kid. Seriously.
Thank you, man.
Thank the world of you.
Thank you so
Bert
much.
Kreischer.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it. All right, let's go to a shot.